act like talking about public behavior is somehow off limits.
But Bianca, from a purely strategic standpoint, the moment an elite athlete starts responding to comment sections under their own name or allegedly using alternate accounts, they lose control of the narrative. You cannot fight every single commenter when you are at the top of your sport.
And that is precisely what the online commentary has been focused on, Marcus. Reports are pointing out that people dissecting this drama see 4 distinct groups coming to her defense. You have those who back any major sports star no matter what, those who dislike her past ring rivals like Layla Ali or Alicia Baumgardner, people who secretly relate to personal entanglements, and those who simply do not know the full backstory of her online back and forths.
That list covers practically every corner of social media, Dee. And let us remember, Kendra G entered this conversation as a mid-40s dating commentator with her own platform and app, bringing her specific perspective into the mix. But whether you agree with her or not, the reaction proved how deep this discussion goes.
Oh, please, Rachel. When a world-class athlete gets dragged into side chick rumors, get you.
That is why brand management is so vital. When someone has built an extraordinary athletic career, stepping into personal disputes on public platforms instantly overshadows the hard work put into the ring.
And then allegedly starts trading insults in the comment section or complaining about online critics, people are going to react. You cannot jump into the comment trenches and then act surprised when the internet throws dirt back.
Toy drive controversy, public arguments with other champion boxers, or allegations regarding alternate social media accounts to argue that the pattern of online engagement keeps fuel on the fire.
Every statement, every reply becomes public record.
Exactly, Marcus. And critics keep bringing up past public clashes, whether it was over a charitable...
It really shows how thin the line is between personal life and public commentary these days. Audience, we want to hear from you on this before we move forward. Do you think high-profile figures should completely ignore personal rumors online, or do they have a right to defend themselves directly? Drop your comments. Now, speaking of dramatic public returns and massive internet debates, we have to talk about the huge news rocking reality television. Nene Leakes is officially making her return to our screens alongside Porsha Williams for the milestone 20th anniversary trip of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip.
Now this is what I call a plot twist. After all the fireworks, the public fallout, and everything that went down behind the scenes, she is actually stepping back in front of the camera.
It really is historic, Bianca. According to published previews and event coverage from the August 4th milestone celebration, this marks her very first appearance with the franchise since season 12. Remember that iconic pandemic reunion where she literally shut the laptop screen? That was the last time viewers saw her in this environment.
And from an industry perspective, this return is fascinating. Back in 2022, she filed a massive federal lawsuit alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment against the network and executives. That suit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, meaning the court never ruled on the merits. But fast forward to May of this year, and a top network executive was publicly saying the past is in the past and calling her integral to the franchise.
That is a complete 180-degree turnaround, Marcus. And Dee, what do we know about how her appearance actually fits into the show's structure?
Well, Rachel, the preview details show that she actually pops up right at the beginning to help her former co-star Porsha pack her bags for this epic cross-country trip. But her main physical appearance with the full cast happens when the ladies hit Atlanta. Porsha even asked in a confessional how anyone could celebrate 20 years of the franchise and leave out the queen herself.
Look, let us be completely honest here. Love her or hate her, Atlanta television was built on her back. When she walked away, a piece of that original spark went missing. But I still want to know, how are all these other heavyweights going to react when she steps into the room?
That is the million-dollar question, Bianca. Look at the lineup for this trip. Teresa Giudice, Vicky Gunvalson, Kyle Richards, Gazelle Bryant, Lisa Barlow, Luann de Lesseps, and Porsha Williams. That is a collection of the biggest personalities in reality history, traveling together across 6 iconic locations.
The itinerary alone sounds exhausting. D, walk us through where these ladies are actually going.
Rachel, it starts right where the entire franchise began back in March of 2006. Orange County. The original star, Vicki Gunvalson, hosts them first, complete with a recreation of her famous 80s-themed game night. From there, they head to Beverly Hills, then Atlanta, where Nene makes her big entrance, followed by Miami, New York, and finally Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
80s game night in Orange County, you just know that is going to descend into pure chaos within 20 minutes. Vicki claims she avoided major meltdowns this time around. But whenever you throw that many alpha personalities into one house, peace never lasts long.
What makes this format so smart commercially is how it pairs nostalgic callbacks with fresh, dynamic shifts. Vicki mentioned in recent interviews that she ended up rooming with Kyle Richards in multiple cities and grew really close to Lisa Barlow. You are seeing cross-franchise alliances form that we have never seen before.
And the cast connections with Nene are already creating buzz. In the premiere preview, when Porsha mentions Kyle Richards, Nene gets visibly excited and calls Kyle her girl. She also hinted that things will get very interesting with Luann de Lesseps, while admitting she thinks Vicki is loud but cool.
It is so wild to see these relationships evolve after 2 decades. And Porsha has not been shy about where she stands either, Marcus. At that August 4th anniversary event, she explicitly stated that she personally wants Nene back on the main Atlanta show permanently, saying the city has been missing her energy.
From a network strategy standpoint, testing the waters on a spin-off trip is the ultimate soft launch. If audience engagement spikes during the Atlanta leg of this trip, the pressure on producers to offer her a full-time return for upcoming seasons will be enormous. Porsha making those statements publicly only amplifies that momentum.
But let us not erase history here. Porsha and Nene have had their own fair share of explosive clashes in the past, including public fallouts over proposed television appearances and personal disagreements. They might be sharing smiles and packing suitcases now, but putting 2 former queens back in the same sandbox always comes with tension.
That history is exactly why fans are tuning in, Bianca. Even their physical evolution over the years has been a hot topic online. Viewers love comparing early season clips to today. In fact, Nene has been completely open about her transformation over the years, publicly discussing her 2 rhinoplasty procedures, one back in 2010 to refine her nostrils, and another in 2016 to reshape cartilage, stating back then that she wanted to be a better version of herself while remaining true to who she is.
And that transparency is part of why fans feel so connected to her after all these years. Audience, we have to ask you, do you think Nene Leakes should make a full-time return to the main Atlanta franchise after this trip? Or is it time for new faces? Jump into the chat and tell us what you think.
It really comes down to whether a legacy show can recapture its golden era energy without feeling stuck in the past. When you look at how the ensemble dynamic has changed since season 12, adding a powerhouse like her back into the mix completely shifts the balance of power among the cast.
Shifts the balance? Marcus, it completely destroys the balance, and that is exactly why we watch. Nobody tunes into these shows to see 7 people agree on where to go for lunch. We want the shade, we want the confrontations, and nobody delivers a reaction like she does.
And let us not forget, Nene herself teased what to expect when her episode airs, promising that when the trip hits Atlanta, everything is going to go up. Plus, with network executives publicly stating that past legal disputes are behind them and describing their recent work together as very positive, the door is wider open than it has been in years.
It really feels like the start of a completely new chapter for the entire franchise. But as these ladies move from Orange County to Beverly Hills and on to Atlanta, old rivalries have a funny way of packing their bags too.
And let us be completely honest, Rachel. Those old rivalries do not just pack their bags. They pay the overweight baggage fee every single time.
They really do, Bianca. Because when you look at this 6-city itinerary, starting right where the franchise began in Orange County, then hitting Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Miami, New York, and finishing at Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires. There is zero room for anyone to hide.
Exactly, and my reporting shows that Orange County really set the tone for the entire trip. Vicky Gunvalson hosted the women right in Coto de Casa and even recreated that famous 80s-themed bunco party from season 7. Vicky mentioned that while there was plenty of conflict and drama, she managed to skirt any massive game night meltdowns this time around.
That is a crucial distinction for Vicky's legacy, Dee. She highlighted that all the women were genuinely impressed with Orange County as a hidden gem, and she ended up bonding deeply with Lisa Barlow and Kyle Richards. In fact, Vicky and Kyle even shared a room in a couple of those cities.
Shared a room? Now that is a dynamic I need to see unfold. But let us get back to Nene Leakes reacting to this cast lineup, because her commentary in that premiere preview was priceless. She called Vicky loud but cool, got visibly thrilled when Kyle's name came up, calling Kyle her girl. And then when Luann de Lesseps was mentioned, Nene just gave that classic look and said it was going to be interesting.
What did you think about Porsha's role in all this, Dee? Because Porsha actually invited Nene over to help her pack before the getaway kicked off.
It shows how much their dynamic has softened, Rachel. Remember, Porsha and Nene had their own rocky moments in the past, including a very public clash over a proposed television appearance. But at the recent anniversary event on August 4th, Porsha told reporters directly that she would personally love for Nene to return to the Atlanta franchise, saying everyone is very hopeful.
That statement carries real strategic weight. Porsha pointed out that earlier this year, filming without longtime stars like Nene and Kenya Moore made them realize those women helped build the foundation that made the show feel like their house. Nene was a staple on seasons 1 through 7 and 10 through 12 before closing her laptop at the virtual pandemic reunion at the end of season 12.
Oh, please! Closing the laptop was iconic, but let us not gloss over why she was gone for so long. We are talking about a massive legal battle here.
Right, and to lay out the official timeline, back in 2022, Nene filed a lawsuit against the network, production companies, and executives alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment. However, later that exact same year, the lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice, meaning a court never ruled on the merits of those claims.
And executive commentary has shifted dramatically since then. In May, Andy Cohen publicly stated that the lawsuit was in the past, described working with Nene again as very positive, and called her integral to the show's history. Nene herself signaled her openness by saying that if they called, she would answer.
Plus, if we are talking about transformations over the years, it is not just the relationships that changed. Look at the physical evolution across the franchise. Nene has been totally open about having 2 nose jobs. Her first rhinoplasty in 2010, where she had her nostrils taken in, and a second one in 2016, where cartilage was moved around so she could look like a better version of herself.
That is very true, Bianca. While some stars across the global franchises, like Pettifleur Bearing,
I think a full-time Peach is next for Nene. Let us see what you are saying right now on air.
Hi, panel. I am Jordan from Chicago, and I have watched every single episode of these shows since day one.
from Melbourne, insist they are 100% natural and have never touched their faces. The physical transformations are a huge part of what fans discuss online.
If you are watching at home, drop your thoughts in our chat. Do you
I just feel like Nene and Porsha were always secretly best friends, and all those legal issues were just a tiny misunderstanding that nobody even cares about anymore.
Oh, Jordan, honey, bless your sweet heart. A tiny misunderstanding. A multi-party lawsuit is not a misplaced set of keys.
Jordan raises a common viewer perspective, though, Bianca. Fans often judge these situations purely on entertainment value, rather than the legal and corporate realities that take months to settle behind closed doors.
Exactly, Marcus. And speaking of passionate online debates where fans break down every single detail, we have to pivot to this major online commentary surrounding boxer Claressa Shields and media personality Kendra G.
Yes, this has completely taken over digital commentary platforms. For context, Kendra G is a popular media host and dating coach in her mid-40s who runs a connection platform and dating app. Lately, critics have noted that her dating commentary takes on talking points similar to the late Kevin Samuels, which has sparked intense debate on its own.
But the
Perspective, Claressa is a world-class athlete, but her social media presence and personal alliances have repeatedly dragged her into public relations battles outside the ring.
And one widely circulated commentary
a real fire started when Kendra G weighed in on Claressa Shields' situation involving Pap and his wife Remy Ma. Commentators online have been calling out Claressa with all kinds of labels, calling her an entanglement, a mistress, and a side chick in this whole ordeal.
From an image management
recently broke down Claressa's online supporters into 4 very specific categories. First, you have people who will defend any black public figure or athlete, no matter what transpires. Second, you have people who simply dislike her rival fighters, like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Franchon Cruz, or Shadassia Green, or people who dislike Remy Ma and side with Pap.
Do not skip Category 3D. Category 3 is the silent mistresses and side chicks in the comments who are doing the exact same thing in their own lives. So they step up to validate her. They love the drama of dealing with married men who have a family to go home to. So they put on their hero capes in the comment section.
And Category 4 represents the people who are simply unaware of Claressa's extensive social media history over the past few years. We are talking about allegations of burner accounts, going back and forth in comment sections, talking cash to people, and victimizing herself across various disputes.
Right, including that public fallout involving a mother of 4 and a toy drive, as well as her controversial statement.
She jumps into a situation this layered. Does it help or just add fuel to the fire?
Kendra G completely took the wrong road on this one, Rachel. She tried to apply basic dating coach logic to a situation that is
claiming that light-skinned black women were her only haters, despite petitions and online pushback coming from men and women of all backgrounds who are tired of the constant social media back and forth.
Bianca, when a media host like Kendra G
messy, public, and involves real marriages and high-stakes athletic careers.
What makes it complicated is that when sports figures enter the entertainment and media commentary space, their outside conduct directly impacts their brand viability and sponsor trust.
And reporters monitoring the situation note that Kendra G's comments on her radio show have only doubled down on the discourse, leaving fans asking whether Claressa will respond directly or let her team handle the damage control.
And from a purely brand strategic viewpoint, Rachel, that damage control is vital because when you are an elite championship athlete, getting entangled in public commentary about personal relationships strips away your corporate leverage and sponsor trust.
Marcus, let us be real. Kendra G jumped on her radio show bringing this whole mid-40s dating coach advice into a boxing champion's personal business, and it completely blew up in her face. She tried to apply basic dating coach logic to a situation involving high-stakes athletic careers and real marriages, and people online are simply not buying it.
Right, and commentators tracking the online fallout pointed out that Kendra G, who also developed a dating app and has a television project in the works, tried to weigh in on a dynamic that viewers see as far too messy for simple relationship rules.
Messy is putting it mildly, D. The online commentary surrounding Claressa supporters literally breaks them down into 4 specific categories. You have the first group who will blindly defend any black public figure or athlete no matter what they do. Then you have the second group made up of people who just dislike her rivals, whether that is Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Shadassia Green, or Franchon Cruz, or even people who support Pap over Remy Ma.
The breakdown of those 4 defender categories really highlights why the public narrative is so fractured. Beyond the blind loyalists and the rival haters, you have a third category of people who are side chicks or mistresses themselves, people who relate to entertaining a married man, and a fourth category of people who are completely clueless about Claressa's past social media activity over the last few years.
Exactly, Marcus. That fourth group completely ignores her history of going back and forth in comment sections, allegedly using burner accounts, talking cash, and victimizing herself in every situation. They overlook the public fallout involving a mother of 4 and a toy drive, as well as her controversial statement claiming that light-skinned black women were her only haters, despite petitions showing pushback coming from men and women of all backgrounds.
That is why the backlash has been so intense across social media. Marcus, Bianca, if you are watching along on our live broadcast right now, do you think dating coach logic has any place in high-stakes celebrity drama, or should commentators stay in their lane? Drop your take in the chat right now.
And while the chat chimed in, rival fighters like Chris Cyborg are already jumping into the online chatter, calling it duck hunting season. It proves that when a sports icon gets tangled up in social media discourse, the pushback comes from every single angle.
Speaking of iconic women who know how to command a room, handle social media discourse, and make massive public waves, we have to pivot to the premiere of Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th.
Oh, now this is where actual television royalty enters the building. Porsha Williams packing her bags in episode 1 and having Nene Leakes sitting right there in her house to catch up. That is pure fan service, Rachel.
It really set the tone for the entire season, Bianca. During that sit-down snippet, Porsha asks Nene directly how anyone could celebrate 20 years of Housewives and leave out the iconic Nene Leakes. Porsha even confirmed in her confessional that while the cross-country trip starts elsewhere, the Queen herself will be making her grand appearance when the cast enters Atlanta.
From an industry and business perspective, Nene appearing on this milestone anniversary season is a massive development. Remember, after season 12, which ended with that pandemic reunion where Nene famously closed her laptop screen, she filed a 2022 lawsuit against the network, executive producer Andy Cohen, and the production companies alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment.
That legal battle was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, meaning a court never decided the allegations on their merits. But fast forward to May of this year, and Andy Cohen publicly stated that the lawsuit was in the past, describing working with Nene again as very positive and calling her integral to the success of the Atlanta franchise.
Andy can call her integral all day long, but he still stopped short of promising her a peach for a future season. But Porsha made her stance crystal clear at the milestone anniversary event on August 4th. Porsha said she is personally very hopeful and would love for Nene to come back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta full-time.
Porsha has actually been vocal about this before, saying that filming without Nene Leakes and Kenya Moore felt different because those longtime stars helped make the show feel like our house. Dee, what did Nene have to say about the rest of the women on this stacked Ultimate Girls Trip roster?
Nene did not hold back her thoughts during that packing session with Porsha. When Porsha admitted she did not know Vicki Gunvalson, Nene described the Orange County star as cool, but definitely loud. When Kyle Richards' name came up, Nene became visibly thrilled and called Kyle her girl. But when Porsha brought up Luann de Lesseps, Nene smiled and said she knows Luann, predicting that it is going to be very interesting.
That cross-franchise dynamic is what makes this six-city itinerary so unique for the entire brand. The ladies kick off their journey in Coto de Caza in Orange County, where Vicki Gunvalson launched the original series back in March 2006, before traveling to Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Miami, New York, and wrapping up at Dorinda Medley's iconic Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
Having Vicki host the first leg in Orange County is absolute gold. Vicki even put together an 80s-themed bunko party to recreate that famous game night from season 7. And Vicki revealed backstage that she actually shared a room with Kyle Richards in a couple of those cities and got extremely close to both Kyle and Lisa Barlow.
An 80s bunko party in Coto de Caza, rooming with Kyle Richards, and ending up in the Berkshires is an ultimate fan dream. Marcus, to our audience watching live right now, which city on this 6-stop tour are you most excited to watch this legendary cast take over? Hit the chat and let us know.
Beyond the travel drama, viewers are also focusing on how these stars have evolved over their years on television, especially when it comes to their looks. While some stars, like Australian housewife Pettifleur Berenger, insist they are 100% natural and have had nothing touched on their face, Nene Leakes has always been open about her cosmetic transformations.
Transparency around physical transformations can actually protect a reality star's public image. Nene confirmed getting 2 separate rhinoplasty procedures over the years, her first in 2010, where she explained she wanted to look like a better version of herself while staying true to who she is, and a second procedure in 2016, where additional cartilage was repositioned.
That honesty is exactly why fans resonate with Nene. She does not sit there and claim her look is just from drinking green juices. She owns her cosmetic choices, she owns her iconic moments. And seeing her move past her old public clashes with Porsha, like that past drama over a proposed television appearance, shows real growth.
That shift in their relationship is huge. With the premiere of Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th, airing Sunday, August 9th at 9 p.m., Nene herself predicted that when she shows up in Atlanta, things are going to go all the way up, leaving fans wondering if a full-time return to the main show could be next.
From a network strategy perspective, bringing Nene back for an episode on Ultimate Girls Trip is the perfect testing ground. It gives executive leadership a clear metric on audience engagement without committing to a full season contract up front.
Oh, come on, Marcus! The metrics are already obvious. Atlanta has missed that queen energy since season 12, when she closed that laptop. When you have Porsha saying, "We opened the door, but we kicked it down," you know the energy is...
And that is the exact energy fans have been begging for. But when you look at the entire cast dynamic across Orange County, Beverly Hills, and Atlanta, the real question is whether these iconic personalities can survive 6 cities without completely tearing the house down.
Or tearing each other's faces off, Rachel. Because let us be real, you put 7 iconic egos on a single getaway through 6 cities, and somebody is going home crying before they even land in Miami.
Well, the itinerary alone is absolute madness, Bianca. They start off in Orange County with Vicky Gunvalson hosting an 80s-themed bunco party right in Coto de Caza. Now, Vicky claims that unlike that famous game night back in season 7, this time around she managed to avoid any major meltdowns and actually bonded with Kyle Richards and Lisa Barlow while sharing rooms. But from there, they hit Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Miami, New York, and finally Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
What is strategic here, Dee, is how leadership is testing these cast dynamics across different territories. You have Porsha Williams helping Nene Leakes pack her bags in that premiere preview, catching up like old times. Porsha literally looks at the camera and asks how on earth they could celebrate 20 years of Housewives without Nene Leakes.
And Nene did not hold back on her thoughts about the rest of the cast either. When Porsha brought up Kyle, Nene exclaimed, "Now that is my girl." She called Vicky loud but cool. And when Luann de Lesseps came up, Nene just smirked and said, "I know Luann, honey. This is gonna be interesting." That is vintage Nene, Marcus. She knows how to stir the pot before she even unpacks her suitcase.
But Dee, we have to talk about the history here, because 2 years ago, nobody thought Nene would ever set foot on a franchise set again. In 2022, she filed that legal suit alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment against the network and Andy Cohen. That suit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that year, meaning the legal claims were never formally decided on their merits by a court, which paved the way for this reconciliation.
Exactly, Rachel. And by May, Andy Cohen was publicly describing working with Nene again as very positive, calling her an integral part of Atlanta's success. Nene herself admitted that if the network called, she would answer because they had put past issues behind them. And at the milestone event on August 4th, Porsha told reporters she personally wants Nene back on Atlanta full-time.
From an image perspective, that shift from a high-stakes legal dispute to a celebrated return on Ultimate Girls Trip shows how valuable Nene's brand remains. Remember, the last time viewers saw her on Atlanta was season 12 during that pandemic reunion, when she famously shut her laptop. Coming back now for the 20th anniversary special in Atlanta gives both sides a victory without committing to a full season contract up front.
Oh, come on, Marcus. The fans do not care about contract structures. They want the glamour and the transparency. Speaking of transparency, can we talk about how open Nene has always been about her evolution compared to other housewives?
That is a major talking point online right now, Bianca. While some stars from international franchises like Petitfleur Behringer insist they are 100% natural with zero cosmetic procedures, Nene has been totally open about her transformations. She confirmed having her first nose job in 2010 to refine her nostrils, and then a second procedure in 2016 to adjust cartilage, explaining she wanted to be a better version of herself while remaining the black woman she is.
And I respect that. Own it. Do not tell me drinking coconut water changed your entire facial structure. But speaking of public transformations and people getting completely dragged on social media, can we switch gears to this absolute storm between boxer Claressa Shields and media commentator Kendra G? Because this commentary debate is getting wildly out of hand.
You are cutting right to it, Bianca. D, fill us in on what is going on with Kendra G and why the online commentary channels are coming for her over her take on Claressa Shields.
Right, so Kendra G, who is a well-known radio host and dating coach in her mid-40s with her own dating app and television projects, put out her commentary on Claressa Shields' current situation. But a lot of popular commentary outlets are saying Kendra G got the whole story flat out wrong. The online reaction has created this huge debate analyzing why people are defending Claressa, and commentators are breaking those defenders down into 4 specific categories.
Oh, those 4 categories are ruthless, D. Group 1, people who will defend any black celebrity or athlete no matter what happened. Group 2, people who just hate Claressa's boxing rivals, whether it is Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, or her feuds involving Remy Ma. So they back Claressa just to spite the competition.
But Bianca, the 3rd and 4th categories are where things get really complicated for a world-class champion. Category 3 consists of alleged mistresses or side chicks who identify with the personal drama involving a married man, while Category 4 includes people who are completely clueless about Claressa's actual social media history, like her past back and forths under alleged burner accounts, her controversial statements about light-skinned black women being her only haters, or that notorious toy drive dispute with a mother of 4.
Marcus, from a sports management and brand reputation standpoint, how dangerous is it when an undisputed champion athlete gets wrapped up in dating coach drama and social media feuds? Drop a comment in our chat right now if you think athletes should stay off social media commentary channels entirely. Marcus, go ahead.
It is a massive risk, Rachel. Elite athletes build their enterprise value on discipline and athletic superiority. When someone like Chris Cyborg chimed in publicly calling it duck hunting season, it signaled that rivals see this drama as a weakness or a distraction. Kendra G approaches these topics like a dating strategist. Some even compare her style to the late Kevin Samuels, which brings a non-sports audience into Claressa's personal life that crosses over into mainstream gossip rather than sports coverage.
And that crossover is exactly why Kendra G is getting so much heat, Marcus. Critics argue Kendra G spoke on the situation without knowing the full backstory of Claressa's online fights, including her feuds with Franchon Cruz and Shade Dea Green. So when Kendra tried to offer her traditional relationship commentary, the fight community and commentary channels jumped on her for being out of her depth.
Kendra G walked right into a boxing ring wearing high heels. D, you cannot give suburban dating advice to a world champion who fights people for a living and loves arguing in the comments section. Kendra has her show, her app, and her opinions, but she completely misjudged how fiercely people track Claressa's digital footprint.
D, has Kendra G responded to the backlash from these commentary channels? Or is her team staying silent?
Her team hasn't issued any official statement, Rachel, but Kendra G is not someone who backs down easily. She has built her career on bold, polarizing dating advice. However, the online narrative right now is that her breakdown ignored all the social media history that made fans critical of Claressa in the first place.
And that is the core issue for any public figure, Rachel. When public reaction gets categorized into people defending you out of loyalty, spite, or shared personal struggles, you lose control of your own narrative. Corporate sponsors prefer clean endorsement narratives, not debates over burner accounts and relationship entanglements.
Oh, please, Marcus! Boxing is built on messy drama. Nobody wants a squeaky clean fighter who quotes philosophy books. People want chaos, and right now, Kendra G just threw more gasoline on the fire.
If you are watching us live, let us know in the chat. Do you think Kendra G should stick to relationship coaching, or does every public figure's personal life become fair game for media commentators? Bianca, do you think Claressa should address Kendra G directly?
Absolutely not, Rachel. But knowing Claressa, she will probably drop a 20-minute video addressing it by midnight. When you have Chris Cyborg mocking the situation and commentary channels breaking down your fan base into 4 categories of dysfunction, keeping quiet is almost impossible for a fighter.
And let us not forget, Claressa's history of social media clashes goes way back. From her public spats with Remy Ma to taking shots at Layla Ali, she has never shied away from digital conflict. But commentators are pointing out that when you claim light-skinned women are your only haters, while petitions against you are signed by men and women of all backgrounds, the public narrative stops being about boxing and starts being about personal conduct.
Exactly, Dee. From a commercial standpoint, sustained polarization alienates mainstream brand deals outside of combat sports. Athletic greatness gets overshadowed when media commentary focuses entirely on social media battles and personal entanglements.
But that is why we are talking about it on live television, Marcus. Nobody is tuning in to discuss her training schedule. They are tuning in because Kendra G made a bold claim and the entire commentary world lost its mind.
D, from what you are hearing across media circles, is this Kendra G feud going to fade away, or are other commentators picking it up?
It is expanding, Rachel. More commentary creators are releasing breakdowns on Kendra G's analysis, diving into whether her dating coach perspective is outdated or simply misapplied here. Some commentators are defending Kendra's right to state her opinion, while others say she shouldn't speak on sports figures without researching their full history.
That is the danger of the modern media landscape, Dee. When a commentator from the lifestyle sector touches a high-profile athlete's personal life, 2 completely different internet subcultures collide, and neither side is willing to back down.
And we are sitting right here with front row seats for the spectacle, Marcus. Whether it is housewives tearing through 6 cities or dating coaches fighting boxers online, nobody is staying in their lane this year.
And speaking of people not staying in their lane, when you look at how fast these online feuds move from a single radio clip or online stream into full-blown media coverage, you have to ask yourself where the line between commentary and escalation actually sits.
It sits right where people start making a living off the drama, Rachel. You have dating coaches in their mid-40s, like Kendra G, who built her platform around relationship advice and even launched her own dating app, suddenly stepping into the ring with world champion fighters.
But that is the core of her brand, Bianca. Kendra G has been expanding her media footprint, including talk of a project on the OWN network by delivering direct, unfiltered opinions. Some critics have even compared her talking points to the late Kevin Samuels, so taking a sharp stance on high-profile figures is right out of her playbook.
And commentators across the internet are dissecting that playbook, Marcus. Online breakdowns are pointing out that defenders who jump in for high-profile athletes like Claressa Shields usually fall into 4 specific categories. The first category will defend any Black public figure or athlete, no matter what, while the second category simply dislikes the athlete's rivals, like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, or Remy Ma.
What about the other 2 categories, D? Because the commentary surrounding these public reactions gets very specific.
The third category consists of people who are side chicks or mistresses themselves, so they relate to the dynamic. And the fourth category includes people who are completely unaware of past social media history, like back-and-forth arguments under alleged burner accounts, public disputes over a toy drive involving a mother of 4, or past controversial comments about light-skinned women. That whole mix is why fighter Chris Cyborg even chimed in online, calling it duck hunting season.
Duck hunting season! Look, when you bring burner accounts and old feuds into the chat, the internet is going to explode. What do you all at home think about these 4 defender categories? Drop your thoughts in our stream right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Brenda from Ohio, and I have watched every single Housewives episode twice. I just think Kendra G needs to stick to helping regular people find love on her app and leave these champion boxers alone before somebody gets hurt in the comments.
Brenda coming in with strong feelings from Ohio. Marcus, from an image standpoint, does an online clash like this actually damage an elite athlete's commercial brand? Or is all attention good attention here?
Prolonged internet feuds can definitely complicate corporate partnerships, Rachel, especially when past online conflicts get brought back up. But when you look at how a high-profile return should be managed, look at the masterclass Bravo and Nene leaks are giving us on Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th.
That transition is spot on. Marcus, in the preview for the premiere airing Sunday, August 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern, we see Nene actually helping Porsha Williams pack her bags for this massive six-city trip.
That scene sets the tone, Rachel. In a confessional, Porsha asks how they could celebrate 20 years of Housewives and leave out Nene leaks, confirming that the queen herself appears when the ladies arrive in Atlanta.
And remember, the last time viewers saw Nene on the network was that virtual season 12 reunion during the pandemic, when she dramatically closed her laptop. To go from that laptop moment and a discrimination lawsuit filed in 2022 that was later mutually dismissed without prejudice to helping Porsha pack is huge.
It really is iconic. Bianca. D, what did Nene have to say about the rest of the cast? Because their itinerary covers Orange County, Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Miami, New York, and Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
Nene gave her honest take, Rachel. When Porsha mentioned she did not know Vicki Gunvalson, Nene described Vicki as cool but loud. When Kyle Richards was mentioned, Nene got excited and called her my girl. And when Porsha brought up Luann de Lesseps, Nene said, "I know Luann, honey. This is going to be interesting."
That positive reaction shows how much the ground has shifted. Back in May, executive producer Andy Cohen mentioned that the past lawsuit was behind them and called working with Nene again very positive, praising her as integral to the franchise. Porsha also spoke to reporters at the Milestone event on August 4th, saying she personally would love for Nene to return to Atlanta full-time, adding that everyone is very hopeful.
Porsha even pointed out that while Nene opened the door, the rest of the cast kicked it down. But can Nene really step back into the Atlanta ensemble without taking over the whole room? What do you think at home? Is Atlanta ready for Nene's full-time return? That is the million-dollar question, Rachel. Nene Leakes is not someone who sits quietly in the back of the class. So putting her into an ensemble after all this time is bound to create fireworks.
Marcus, from an industry standpoint, how big of a shift is this, given where things stood 2 years ago?
It is a massive shift, Rachel. Back in 2022, Nene filed that federal lawsuit against the production entities, the network, and executive producer Andy Cohen, alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment. That suit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, meaning the court never ruled on the merits. Fast forward to May of this year, and Andy publicly stated that the legal issues were in the past, calling working with Nene again a very positive experience and describing her as integral to the franchise's success.
And the cast is fully acknowledging that history on camera, Rachel. In the premiere clip for the 6th season of the Girls Trip series, Nene actually comes over to help Porsha Williams pack her bags before the trip even starts. Porsha explicitly reminds the audience that the last time viewers saw Nene on the show was during that season 12 reunion held during the pandemic, where Nene famously ended her segment by closing her laptop screen. Porsha literally calls her the iconic housewife to her face.
Closing the laptop was iconic, D. But let us be real. Helping Porsha pack her suitcases is a long way from surviving a 6-city marathon with 6 other massive personalities across the country.
Well, Bianca, that itinerary is intense. The journey starts in Orange County, then moves straight to Beverly Hills, heads down to Atlanta, flies to Miami, travels up to New York, and finishes at Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires. The full core group consists of Porsha, Teresa Giudice, Vicki Gunvalson, Kyle Richards, Gazelle Bryant, Lisa Barlow, and Luann de Lesseps.
And starting in Orange County is huge because that is where the entire franchise launched back in March of 2006. Dee, what do we know about Vicky hosting that first leg?
Vicky was thrilled to showcase Coto de Casa to the rest of the women. She actually organized a recreation of that famous 80s-themed Bunko game night from season 7. She mentioned backstage that while there was definitely conflict and drama during the leg, she personally avoided any major meltdowns this time around. She even shared rooms with Kyle Richards during a couple of the city stops and bonded deeply with Lisa Barlow.
That shows how the format has evolved, Rachel. In the early days, these women were strictly filmed inside their own local social circles. Now, 20 years later, you have cross-franchise dynamics where historical feuds and brand transformations are front and center.
Speaking of transformations, Marcus, are we going to talk about how much these women have physically changed since 2006? Because some of those throwbacks in the premiere episode look like entirely different people.
It is true that cosmetic procedures have been a major talking point across the entire history of the franchise, Bianca. But what stands out is how different cast members choose to address it publicly.
That is so true, Rachel. You have someone like Pettifleur Beringer from the Melbourne series who has insisted publicly that she is 100% natural and has never touched her face. But then you look at Nene Leakes, who has been completely transparent about her surgeries over the years. Nene confirmed getting her first rhinoplasty back in 2010, explaining at the time that she wanted to narrow her nostrils while still looking like herself. Then, during a late-night talk show appearance in 2016, she confirmed a second procedure to move cartilage around.
At least Nene owns it, Dee. She does not sit there pretending it was just a good moisturizer and drinking 8 glasses of water a day. But look, as much as we love the Atlanta nostalgia, there is an even bigger storm brewing on social media right now. And it involves a completely different set of stars.
You are talking about the massive online battle surrounding world champion boxer Claressa Shields and media personality Kendra G. Right, Bianca?
Exactly, Rachel! Kendra G went on a radio broadcast and weighed in on Claressa's recent personal drama, and the internet completely exploded. People are taking sides, lines are being drawn, and nobody is holding back.
I have been following the breakdown closely, Rachel. A prominent online commentary creator released a detailed analysis arguing that Kendra G got the entire situation completely wrong. This commentator broke down the people defending Claressa into 4 very specific categories.
Break those 4 categories down for us, Dee. What are commentators saying about who is taking Claressa's side online?
The first category consists of people who will automatically defend any Black public figure or athlete, no matter what transpires. The second category includes fans who harbor personal animosity toward the female fighters Claressa has publicly feuded with, like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Shadasia Green, or Franchon Cruz, or people who dislike artist Remy Ma and side with Papoose.
And do not forget the third category, Dee, because that one is spicy. The analysis claimed the third group consists of silent mistresses and side chicks who defend Claressa because they are currently or previously involved with married men themselves and relate to the situation.
From a public relations perspective, this is a textbook example of how personal life overlap can complicate an elite athlete's commercial brand. Claressa Shields is an extraordinary champion, but when public commentary focuses on alleged personal entanglements, burner accounts, and social media battles, it creates a split audience.
That brings us right to the fourth category from the analysis, Marcus. The fourth group is made up of people who are simply unaware of Claressa's extensive social media history. The commentator pointed out that Claressa has repeatedly engaged in heated back-and-forth arguments in comment sections, allegedly using secondary burner accounts and getting into public spats with everyone from a mother of 4 organizing a toy drive to fellow elite boxers.
And even mixed martial arts legend Chris Cyborg jumped into the fray online, declaring that it is officially duck hunting season. When other world-class fighters start calling you out on social media while dating coaches are analyzing your personal life on radio shows, you know the situation has spiraled.
Marcus, How much damage does this kind of media crossfire actually do to an athlete of Claressa's caliber?
It creates significant noise, Rachel. Kendra G has built a major platform in her mid-40s as a prominent dating coach, running online matching services and hosting broadcasts where she applies firm relationship standards. When a respected media personality like Kendra G uses her platform to critique a top-tier athlete's public behavior, it moves the discussion from sports radio into mainstream pop culture commentary.
Kendra G has faced her own share of criticism online, Marcus. Plenty of viewers complain that her dating advice has taken on a harsh tone in recent years. But when she addressed Claressa's situation, she touched a nerve because so many people are exhausted by celebrity social media feuds. What do you think watching at home? Did Kendra G cross the line, or was she just telling the truth?
And what makes this commentary so intense, Rachel, is that Claressa previously claimed on social media that light-skinned black women were her primary critics. But as this latest commentary pointed out, the backlash is coming from men and women across all backgrounds who are simply tired of public drama displacing athletic achievement.
That is where this debate gets really complicated, because Kendra G's full commentary on the radio station dives even deeper into how public figures handle responsibility when the cameras are on them.
And when you are a world-class champion at the absolute peak of your athletic career like Claressa Shields, every single public statement carries massive weight for your brand image, Rachel. From an industry standpoint, when an athlete spends energy going back and forth in comment sections, allegedly using burner accounts, or clashing with high-profile figures like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, or Shadassia Green, it creates a sideshow that distracts from pure athletic excellence.
Oh, please, Marcus. Let us not act like social media feuds were invented yesterday. But what makes this entire online breakdown about Kendra G's commentary so fascinating is how people immediately split into 4 distinct camps whenever Claressa gets into hot water. You have the unconditional defenders who back any black public figure no matter what, the fans taking sides because they dislike her rivals like Remy Ma, the silent mistresses who relate to the personal drama, and then the folks who are totally clueless about her past comment section fight.
That 4-category breakdown really ignited the internet, Bianca, because commentators pointed out that the critics calling out the drama represent all walks of life. People brought up past clashes involving Franchon Cruz, a situation with a mother of 4 during a toy drive, and comments from Chris Cyborg calling it duck hunting season. So when Claressa previously claimed on social media that her primary critics were light-skinned black women, the broader public reaction proved that men and women across all backgrounds were simply exhausted by public feuds displacing athletic achievement.
What do you think watching at home? Do you agree with these 4 categories of online defenders? Or do you think public figures should be allowed to speak their minds without every post being dissected? Marcus, from a brand management standpoint, how does an elite athlete recover when public commentary shifts to dating coach critiques and personal life allegations?
They focus on performance and discipline, Rachel. Kendra G has built her platform as a mid-40s dating coach with her own connecting app and an upcoming show on the OWN network, and when media personalities compare public drama to broader cultural talking points, sponsors take notice. When a champion boxer's public image becomes intertwined with radio station debates rather than title defenses, marketing teams start calculating the risk.
But let us be real for a second. Reality television proved decades ago that chaotic personal drama is precisely what keeps millions of people tuned in every single week, which brings us right back to the absolute masters of public feuds and massive comebacks.
You read my mind, Bianca. Because speaking of iconic returns that carry massive public noise, we have to talk about the premiere episode of Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th. The milestone event kicked off with a moment viewers thought they might never see again. Nene Leakes returning to Bravo to help core cast member Porsha Williams pack her bags for an epic cross-country getaway.
That sit-down between Porsha and Nene set the internet on fire, Rachel. In the premiere preview, Porsha literally referred to Nene as the queen herself and admitted that Atlanta has been missing her signature energy ever since she departed after season 12 during that pandemic reunion where she famously closed her laptop. Porsha openly asked how anyone could celebrate 20 years of Housewives while leaving out Nene Leakes, confirming Nene will physically enter the show when the cast arrives in Atlanta.
And can we talk about the sheer plot twist of Nene stepping back onto Bravo screens? Back in 2022, she filed a high-profile lawsuit against Bravo, NBC Universal, Andy Cohen, and others alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment. That lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, meaning the court never decided the allegations on their merits. Now, here she is sitting in Porsha's living room helping her select outfits for a 6-city tour. You cannot write a better television narrative than that.
It is a textbook example of business pragmatism from both sides, Bianca. The legal dispute is officially in the past. Executive producer Andy Cohen even stated back in May that working with Nene again was very positive and acknowledged that she was integral to the success of the Atlanta franchise. While he stopped short of handing over a peach on the spot, Nene herself previously signaled that if they called, she would answer because they put their past issues behind them.
And Porsha is not keeping her enthusiasm quiet either, Marcus. At the Ultimate Girls Trip 20th anniversary event on August 4th, Porsha explicitly told reporters that she personally would love for Nene to come back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, saying they are very hopeful about it. Porsha noted that filming without Nene and Kenya Moore made her realize how much those longtime stars helped make the show feel like their house.
What was so entertaining about that packing scene was Nene giving her unfiltered commentary on the cast itinerary. When Porsha admitted she did not know Vicki Gunvalson, Nene called Vicki loud but cool. Then, when Kyle Richards was mentioned, Nene immediately lit up and exclaimed that Kyle is her girl. And when Luann de Lesseps came up, Nene just smiled and said it was going to be interesting.
D, walk us through this massive 6-city itinerary, because bringing all these franchise heavyweights together across the country is an absolute undertaking.
It all kicks off right where the entire franchise began back in March of 2006, Rachel. Vicki Gunvalson hosts the ladies in Orange County at her exclusive Coto de Casa community, complete with a recreation of that famous 80s-themed bunco party from Season 7. From there, the itinerary moves to Beverly Hills, then to Atlanta where Nennon makes her entrance, followed by Miami, New York, and finally, Dorinda Medley's iconic Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires. In recent backstage interviews, Vicki even revealed that Coto de Casa impressed everyone as a hidden gem, and she bonded closely with Lisa Barlow and shared rooms with Kyle Richards.
What makes this dynamic between Porsha and Nene so compelling now is their long history, Rachel. They have had their own very public clashes in the past, including a notable disagreement over a proposed television appearance. Seeing them now, fully aligned with Porsha acting as Nene's biggest advocate for a full-time return, proves how shared history in this industry can completely transform past rivalries.
If you are watching us live right now, weigh in on the comments. Do you want to see Nene Leakes back full-time, holding a peach in Atlanta? Or was this anniversary appearance the ultimate one-time reunion? Bianca, beyond the legal comebacks, this premiere also got everyone talking about the drastic physical transformations of these stars over 20 years.
Oh, honey, the facial transformations across 2 decades of Housewives history are legendary. But what I respect about Nene is her complete transparency. While some stars from other international franchises, like Pettifleur Behringer from Melbourne, claim to be 100% natural with zero work done, Nene went on late-night television back in 2016 and laid out all the facts about her 2 rhinoplasties.
That is right, Bianca. Nene confirmed that her first procedure in 2010 was taking in her nostrils on the side, but by 2016 she had a second rhinoplasty to move cartilage around. She specifically shared that she wanted to look like the black woman she is, just a better version of herself. That level of openness stands in stark contrast to stars who deny cosmetic procedures despite side-by-side comparisons.
Transparency builds long-term audience trust, D. Viewers appreciate when public figures are honest about plastic surgery, non-invasive treatments, or weight loss, rather than claiming dramatic physical shifts happened naturally. It demystifies celebrity beauty standards and keeps the conversation authentic.
Authentic or dramatic, seeing Nene back on screen brought back pure Atlanta magic. And when Porsha told her that Atlanta is going to go up the second she arrives, Nene did not hesitate for a second to agree that it is going to be huge.
The momentum is reaching a boiling point because when Nene actually joins the group in Atlanta after they wrap up Orange County and Beverly Hills, the clash of personalities across all 6 cities is going to ignite every single feud.
And honestly, Rachel, that clash is going to start long before they even reach Georgia. When you look at that cross-country itinerary, these women are flying from Orange County straight to Beverly Hills, then down to Atlanta, over to Miami, up to New York, and finishing at Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires. That is 6 cities of absolute chaos, and Nene is already dropping commentary before Porsha even zips her suitcases.
That packing scene in the premiere episode is where it all kicks off, Bianca. While helping Porsha pack her bags, Nene did not hold back when Porsha ran down the cast list. When Porsha brought up Vicky, Nene said she thinks Vicky is cool, loud, but cool. But when Kyle came up, Nene literally shouted that Kyle is her girl. And regarding Luann, she simply grinned and said that is going to be interesting.
That dynamic between Nene and the franchise ecosystem is so fascinating, Dee, because if you look back at where things stood in 2022, nobody expected this reunion. Nene filed that major lawsuit against the network, production entities, and executives, alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment. But when that lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, it left the door cracked open. Now, public statements describe working with her as very positive and call her integral to the show's history.
And Porsha is fanning those comeback flames big time, Marcus. At the 20th anniversary celebration on August 4th, Porsha explicitly stated in an interview that she personally would love for Nene to return to the main Atlanta series, saying everyone is very hopeful. Porsha even asked in her confessional how they could celebrate 20 years without the queen herself. What do you think about Porsha pushing for this return, Bianca?
I think Porsha knows top-tier television when she sees it, Rachel. We have not seen Nene on that main stage since season 12, when she dramatically shut her laptop screen at the virtual pandemic reunion. Nene herself agreed during their sit-down that her coming back for the 20th anniversary is huge and predicted that Atlanta is going to go up the second she arrived.
And let us not forget the starting point of this whole trip, because Vicky is opening her doors in Coto de Casa to host the first leg. Vicky confirmed that she organized an 80s-themed Bunko party recreation to mirror Season 7 of Orange County. She mentioned that while there was conflict and drama, she avoided any major personal meltdowns this time, and she actually shared a room with Kyle in a couple of cities while bonding heavily with Lisa Barlow.
Hi everyone, Tamara here from Chicago. I have been watching Nene since Season 1, and I am literally crying seeing her back with Porsha packing bags. Nene made Atlanta what it is, and if Bravo does not bring her back permanently after this 6-city trip, I am organizing a petition myself.
Tamara, honey, grab a penalty because you might need that petition. But seriously, Nene saying if they called, I would answer, proves that the bridge is fully repaired on both sides.
If you are watching at home, hit our chat and tell us, do you want to see Nene back full-time on the main show, or is this 6-city celebration the perfect victory lap? Marcus, from a brand strategy perspective, Nene balancing her history with this new era is brilliant, but we are seeing a very different public image battle happening over in the sports world right now.
That is a sharp transition, Rachel, because while Nene is reclaiming her narrative, boxer Claressa Shields is caught in a massive media storm involving host and dating coach Kendra G that is tearing through social media analysis.
The entire situation exploded after Kendra G offered her perspective during a recent radio broadcast regarding Claressa's highly publicized personal life. Kendra G, who is in her mid-40s, works as a dating coach and runs a connection platform, has faced public critique from commentators who claim her relationship advice mirrors talking points made famous by late media personalities. When she weighed in on Claressa's ongoing situation, it triggered a massive breakdown from social media analysts.
Calling it a breakdown is putting it lightly, Dee. Commentary online is categorizing Claressa's defenders into 4 distinct buckets, and nobody is holding back. You have got the first group who will blindly defend any black public figure or athlete, no matter what happened. Then the second group consists of people who just hate Claressa's athletic rivals, whether it is Laila Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Franchon Cruz, or her ongoing tension with Remy Ma.
Marcus, look at that third and fourth category being discussed online, because that is where the commentary gets particularly sharp regarding personal choices and public image.
Right, Rachel. The third category identified in these media breakdowns includes people who relate to Claressa entertaining a relationship with a married man because they themselves are or were in similar dynamics. The fourth category represents people who are completely unaware of Claressa's social media trail over the past few years, including alleged burner accounts, public arguments in comment sections, her infamous conflict over a toy drive with a mother of 4, and her controversial statements labeling light-skinned black women as her primary haters.
Oh, please, Marcus! Category 4 is just people living under a rock. If you have followed Claressa at all, you know she gets into the mud in the comment sections with everyone from Shade Dia Green to boxing promoters. So when Kendra G hopped on the radio to give her 2 cents as a mid-40s dating coach, she walked straight into a landmine.
And Kendra G's background is precisely why this commentary blew up, Bianca. Critics online are pointing out that while Kendra G promotes her dating platform and offers relationship coaching, stepping into the ring to analyze a world champion boxer's romantic entanglement with a married man opened her up to intense backlash from Claressa's fanbase.
Let us know in the chat right now, do you think dating coaches and media hosts like Kendra G should stay out of athletes' personal lives? Or is public behavior fair game for commentary? Marcus, does this back and forth hurt Claressa's standing as an elite world-class champion?
From a purely professional athlete standpoint, Rachel, Claressa's achievements in the ring are undeniable. But when your personal life completely eclipses your athletic legacy in daily media cycles, sponsors take notice. When commentators break down your online defenders into categories involving mistresses and social media feuds, it distracts from your primary brand as a dominant fighter.
Marcus, combat sports have always thrived on wild personalities and outside drama. Look at Chris Cyborg chiming in and calling it open season on social media. The fans eat this up, whether Kendra G gets it flat out wrong on her radio show or not.
The crux of the debate really comes down to what Kendra G said on air versus how Claressa's supporters responded. The reporting shows that media commentators feel Kendra G completely misread the situation, failing to realize that defending Claressa has become a battleground where personal relationship history and sporting rivalries meet.
And that radio segment ignited a debate about whether Kendra G's coaching credentials even give her the authority to judge a championship athlete's personal choices.
Exactly, Rachel, because Kendra G is out here in her mid-40s presenting herself as a relationship coach with a dating platform and potential project with television networks like OWN. Yet critics online are claiming her radio commentary sounds like recycled talking points from the late Kevin Samuel.
And that is where the controversy caught fire, Bianca, because when Kendra G weighed in on Claressa Shields' situation on air, media commentators immediately stepped in to declare her analysis completely off the mark. The reporting shows observers breaking Claressa's online supporters down into 4 very specific categories.
Break those 4 categories down for us, Dee, because understanding those distinct groups really explains why a sports segment escalated into a massive online battleground.
According to social media analysis, Marcus, the first category consists of people who will automatically defend any black athlete or celebrity figure, regardless of the context. The second group includes individuals who hold grudges against Claressa's ring rivals, such as Laila Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Franchon Cruz, or Shadasia Green, or folks who side with Pap against Remy Ma.
Do not forget the third category, D. That would be the actual silent mistresses and side chicks in the comments who are out here in the trenches themselves, knowingly getting involved with married men who have wives and children to go home to, and defending Claressa because they relate to the lifestyle.
In the fourth category, as outlined by commentators, are simply the fans who are completely unaware of Claressa's social media activity over the past few years. They are unfamiliar with the alleged burner accounts, the public feud involving a mother of 4 during a toy drive, or her controversial statements framing light-skinned Black women as her primary haters despite online petitions signed by people from all walks of life.
That level of detail shows why this situation is so explosive, Marcus, especially when rival fighters like Chris Cyborg jump into the commentary to declare it open season and call it duck hunting season on social media. Dee, what are industry insiders saying about how this media noise impacts her long-term brand?
The reporting indicates that while her world-class achievements inside the boxing ring are completely unquestioned, the constant public feuds and radio commentary from hosts like Kendra G create an undeniable distraction, forcing her team to handle brand management in the middle of personal life headlines.
But let us be honest, Rachel. Drama is what drives public engagement, whether you are in a boxing ring or in a television living room. Look at how veteran reality stars turn long-standing public feuds and complex legal histories into massive, high-profile comebacks.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Bianca, because transition of the night goes to the premiere of Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th, where the history, the relationships, and the returns are taking center stage.
Rachel, the first look at the premiere episode airing Sunday, August 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time shows Nene Leakes making her official return to the franchise, starting by helping core cast member Porsha Williams pack her bags for an extraordinary 6-city getaway.
And Porsha did not hold back in her confessional either, Dee. She looked straight at the camera and asked how anyone could celebrate 20 years of Housewives and leave out Nene Leakes, calling her the queen herself and confirming Nene makes her grand entrance when the cast lands in Atlanta.
That sit-down packing scene carries tremendous historical weight, Rachel. As Porsha reminded viewers, the last time fans saw Nene was during the season 12 pandemic reunion when she famously closed her laptop screen, which was followed by her 2022 federal lawsuit against the network and executives alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment.
And Marcus, that legal action was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, meaning the court never ruled on the merits. Network executive Andy Cohen even publicly noted back in May that those legal issues are in the past, calling working with Nene again very positive and acknowledging how integral she was to the show's history. If you are watching us live right now, drop your thoughts in the chats. Do you think Nene should officially regain her peach on Atlanta full-time?
Porsha is certainly pushing for it, Rachel. At the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 20th anniversary event on August 4th, Porsha told reporters that she would personally love for Nene to return to Atlanta, explaining that everyone is very hopeful now that past issues have been put behind them.
Porsha even admitted earlier this year that filming without Nene and Kenya Moore felt like the house was missing its core foundation. And Nene herself signaled that if the network called, she would answer.
Looking at the structure of this 6th season, Rachel, the itinerary spans 6 iconic cities across the country in a very specific order. They start in Orange County, move to Beverly Hills, head to Atlanta, travel to Miami, go to New York, and finish at Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
Starting in Orange County, where the franchise began back in March 2006 with Vicki Gunvalson, is such a full-circle moment, Dee. What did Vicki reveal about hosting all these major personalities in Coto de Casa?
Vicki shared that she took the ladies through her hometown, calling Orange County a hidden gem that thoroughly impressed the cast. She even recreated her iconic Season 7 80s-themed Bunko party, teasing that while there was plenty of conflict and drama, she managed to avoid any major personal meltdowns on her leg of the trip.
Vicki also ended up sharing a room with Kyle Richards in a couple of cities. But what I loved from the premiere preview was Nene's unfiltered reaction when Porsha ran down the cast list during that packing session.
Nene certainly did not hold back her opinions on her fellow castmates. Did she, Bianca?
Not for a second, Marcus. When Porsha admitted she did not know Vicki, Nene described Vicki as cool but loud. When Kyle Richards came up, Nene got visibly thrilled and called Kyle her girl. And when Porsha brought up Luann de Lesseps, Nene just grinned and said she knows Luann, predicting it was going to get very interesting.
That cross-franchise history is what makes this 20th anniversary so special, Dee. But beyond the cast dynamics, viewers online are also discussing how much these veteran stars have physically transformed since their very first seasons.
That is right, Rachel. While a select few stars across the global franchise, like Petitfleur Behringer from Melbourne, have publicly stated they are 100% natural with zero facial procedures, mainstays like Nene Leakes have been totally open about their cosmetic transformations over the years.
Nene has always owned her story, D. She confirmed back in 2010 that she had her first rhinoplasty to refine her nose while staying true to her identity as a black woman. And then, in 2016, she shared on late-night television that she had a second procedure to adjust cartilage.
From a career and public image standpoint, Rachel, transparency about plastic surgery and cosmetic updates builds a far stronger rapport with viewers than denying obvious changes, especially on a franchise celebrating 2 decades on air.
Tell us in the comments, which housewife do you think has had the most iconic transformation over the last 20 years? Because as the cast gets ready for Atlanta to go up when Nene joins the trip,
that 6-city itinerary is going to explode right at that third stop. Rachel, you cannot put Nene Leakes in a room with these women after everything that has happened and expect total calm. She looked at that cast list during the packing scene with Porsha Williams and did not hold back for 1 single second.
She really did not, Bianca. In that premiere preview for the 6th season, which airs Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, Porsha is packing her bags and goes through the roster city by city. When Vicky Gunvalson comes up, Nene calls her cool but loud. When Kyle Richards is mentioned, Nene gets noticeably thrilled and shouts, "Now that is my girl." But when Porsha mentions Luann de Lesseps, Nene just grins and says it is going to be very interesting.
That packing scene sets up the entire narrative structure, Rachel. Porsha directly acknowledges in her confessional that you cannot celebrate 20 years of the franchise and leave out Nene. Remember, the last time viewers saw Nene on screen was during that season 12 reunion held virtually during the pandemic, where she famously shut her laptop. Now, bringing her back specifically for the third leg of the tour in Atlanta is a strategic move for viewer engagement.
what did you find in the latest statements, Dee? Because Porsha has been remarkably vocal about wanting Nene back permanently on the main show, hasn't she?
Absolutely, Rachel. At the 20th anniversary celebration event on August 4th, Porsha told reporters that she personally would love to see Nene rejoin the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She mentioned that everyone is very hopeful. Porsha even reflected on filming past seasons without Nene and Kenya Moore, saying those veteran stars are what made the show feel like our house.
And let us not forget how wild that support is considering their history. Porsha and Nene have had massive clashes over the years, including public fallout over proposed television appearances. But now Porsha is calling her the queen herself and saying Atlanta has been missing her exact energy. I love seeing them on the same page, but let us be real. The tension is always simmering under the surface.
From a corporate image perspective, this public shift is fascinating. Back in 2022, Nene filed a federal lawsuit against the network, production companies, and executive producers alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment. That lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, meaning the court never ruled on the merits. But as executive producers stated back in May, that legal history is officially in the past, calling working with Nene again very positive and calling her integral to the franchise's success.
And Nene herself confirmed she was open to returning, stating that if they called, she would answer. Let us know in the live chat right now, do you agree with Porsha that Atlanta is missing its core energy without Nene?
Oh, the chat is going to be divided on that one, Rachel. But do not forget the route these ladies are taking before they even hit Georgia. They start in Orange County, with Vicky hosting an 80s-themed bunko party right in Coto de Caza, where the whole franchise began 20 years ago. Then they head to Beverly Hills, then Atlanta for Nene's grand entrance, then down to Miami, up to New York, and finally ending at Bluestone Manor in the Berkshire.
That chronological cross-country tour across 6 cities is designed to celebrate the evolution of reality television while leaning heavily into nostalgia. Vicky even teased in backstage interviews that while there was drama during her game night, she managed to navigate it without a major total meltdown this time.
Speaking of major drama and intense public commentary that has social media buzzing, Marcus, we have to pivot to our second topic today. The high-stakes commentary and ongoing media fallout surrounding champion boxer Claressa Shields and media host Kendra G.
That is right, Rachel. This situation has escalated significantly after media personality and dating coach Kendra G, who is in her mid-40s and known for her relationship advice platform, weighed in publicly on Claressa Shields' personal life and alleged involvement with a married man known online as Paps.
And Kendra G got it completely wrong. D. People online are dissecting every single word because Kendra came in trying to analyze the situation. But the reaction from the public and other fighters has been absolute wildfire. Champion fighter Chris Cyborg even posted publicly that it is officially duck hunting season when talking about Claressa.
Looking at this from a public brand and PR standpoint, Rachel Claressa Shields is an elite, world-class athlete, but her personal life and social media interactions have repeatedly overshadowed her athletic achievements. Commentary channels and media figures are now breaking down why certain segments of the internet continue to defend or attack her.
Online supporters into 4 distinct groups. The first category consists of people who will unconditionally defend any Black public figure, celebrity, or athlete regardless of the circumstances.
Break down those 4 defender categories that commentators have been outlining online, because this analysis is blowing up social media.
It really is, Rachel. Independent media commentators have categorized Claressa. The second category includes fans who simply dislike her rival fighters, such as Leila Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Franchon Cruz, Shade Dea Green, or public figures like Remy Ma, or who support Paps, giving them a reason to side with Claressa.
The third category is where things get really messy, D. The third group is described as side chicks and mistresses themselves. Women who are currently or previously involved with married men who see themselves in Claressa's situation and jump into comment sections to defend the behavior because they are living the exact same struggle.
And the fourth category, Rachel, comprises people who are simply unaware or clueless regarding Claressa's extensive history of social media feuds over the past few years. That includes past drama over a toy drive involving a mother of 4, allegations of using burner accounts to argue with critics online, and her past statements claiming that light-skinned Black women were her primary haters.
Tell us in the comments section right now, which of these 4 online categories do you notice most when scrolling through celebrity comment sections? Because Marcus, when an athlete of Claressa's caliber gets embroiled in these multi-layered personal controversies, how does it affect long-term endorsement potential?
It creates a volatile brand profile, Rachel. Major corporate sponsors look for reliability and positive mainstream engagement. When an elite athlete spends significant time engaging in back-and-forth social media battles with media hosts like Kendra G, rival fighters like Chris Cyborg or Leila Ali, and everyday commenters, it risks diluting their athletic prestige.
But Marcus, Claressa has never been one to sit back quietly and let anyone talk cash to her. Whether it is a dating coach giving relationship advice on a radio show or a fellow champion calling her out, Claressa responds with maximum aggression every single time.
And that is precisely why this commentary from Kendra G triggered such a massive wave of reactions, Bianca. Kendra G has built a reputation around her dating platform and relationship advice, but critics argue that her take on Claressa's entanglement with a married man completely missed the mark regarding accountability.
Furthermore, D, when media commentators challenge an athlete's personal conduct on high-profile platforms, it forces the public to take sides. We are seeing a complete breakdown between those who evaluate Claressa purely on her dominance in the ring and those who judge her based on her external personal choices and social media history.
What is particularly striking is how this media debate between Kendra G and Claressa supporters has brought past rivalries back into the spotlight. D. These connections to fighters like Alicia Baumgardner and Franchon Cruz keep re-emerging in every single public discussion.
They do, Rachel. Every time Claressa enters a new public feud, her critics point to her long track record of clashes across the combat sports landscape. From her public spats with Franchon Cruz and Shade Dea Green to her high-profile tensions with Layla Ali and Remy Ma, commentators argue that a consistent pattern of conflict has been established over several years.
And let us be honest, when commentators step onto radio stations or online shows to give their opinions on someone else's relationship choices, they have to expect the audience to fire back. Kendra G put her opinion out there as a relationship expert, but the public is dissecting her credentials and background just as hard as they are dissecting Claressa's romantic life.
That is the nature of modern entertainment media, Bianca. When public figures transition into commentary on personal relationships, their own history and platform become fair game for public scrutiny. That is why this back and forth between Kendra G's analysis and Claressa Shields' defender categories has become such a massive talking point across all digital spaces.
It really highlights how fine the line is between athletic stardom and reality-style celebrity drama in today's media landscape. Bianca, do you think Claressa should address Kendra G's comments directly, or should she focus strictly on her upcoming fight commitments?
Are you kidding me, Rachel? Claressa Shields is not the type to stay quiet while a dating coach breaks down her life on a radio station. You know she is going to address it, whether through a direct video, a social media post, or another heated comment thread.
And with fellow fighters like Chris Cyborg publicly stoking the flames by declaring it duck hunting season, the pressure on Claressa to respond publicly is only growing by the minute.
And let us not forget, Dee, that Kendra G is bringing her entire background as a dating coach into this whole situation. She is in her mid-40s, running platforms to help people connect, and critics are actively claiming she has adopted those notorious online relationship talking points when breaking down these sports public figures.
Exactly, Bianca. From an image management perspective, when a media personality categorizes an athlete's supporters into 4 distinct groups, whether it is people who blindly defend Black public figures, folks who dislike her past rivals like Layla Ali or Alicia Baumgardner, silent side chicks in the comments, or viewers who are simply clueless about past social media feuds, it shifts the conversation completely away from championship boxing.
For anyone just joining our live broadcast, we are dissecting the massive online debate surrounding multi-time boxing champion Claressa Shields and media host Kendra G. The back and forth ignited after radio commentary broke down Claressa's online supporters into 4 categories, while fellow fighters continue to stoke the flames online. Marcus, from a career standpoint, does this kind of commentary actually harm an elite athlete's commercial appeal?
It definitely adds unnecessary public friction, Rachel, especially when past social media history, like online arguments regarding toy drives, public feuds with other athletes, or claims about burner accounts, gets brought back into the spotlight.
Hey everyone, I am Jordan from Atlanta. I have been a massive fan of Claressa's fighting career for years, but I was completely confused when all these radio clips about dating coaches and defender categories popped up on my feed. Are people really taking these 4 defender categories seriously?
Oh, Jordan, honey, people on the internet take everything way too seriously. You have people in the comments section practically taking tests to see which of those 4 defender categories they fall into.
Viewers like Jordan are asking the exact right questions, and you can jump into our live chat right now to share your thoughts too. But speaking of major media returns and iconic personalities making waves, let us pivot to our other huge story. The first look at the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th Anniversary Special.
Rachel, that preview clip is already sending fans into a total spin because it shows Nene Leakes making her official return to help core cast member Porsha Williams pack her bags.
That is right, Dee. For our viewers who need a quick recap on where this stands, Nene originally left the Real Housewives of Atlanta after season 12. Who could forget her closing her laptop during that pandemic reunion? And then filed a 2022 lawsuit against the network and executives, alleging racial discrimination. That lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that year, and recently executives confirmed the legal issues are firmly in the past, and working together again has been very positive.
And now Porsha is out here giving her former castmate the ultimate praise. Porsha told reporters at the August 4th milestone event that while original stars opened the door, they kicked it down, and she personally wants Nene back on the main Atlanta show full-time.
Exactly. And Porsha revealed in the preview that as the cast goes through their 6-city itinerary, starting in Orange County, moving to Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Miami, New York, and finishing at Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires, Nene will make her actual appearance when the ladies land in Atlanta.
It is a really smart production strategy, Rachel. Starting off in Orange County with Vicky Gunvalson hosting an 80s-themed Bunko party in Coto de Caza Honors where the franchise began, while bringing Nene in for the Atlanta leg maximizes the impact of her return.
Bianca, what did you make of Nene's immediate reactions to her fellow cast members during that packing scene?
Are you kidding, Rachel? It was vintage Nene. When Porsha brought up Vicky, Nene said she thinks Vicky is cool but loud. When Kyle Richards was mentioned, Nene called her my girl. But when Porsha brought up Luann de Lesseps, Nene just gave a look and said it was going to be interesting.
She certainly does not sugarcoat anything. And speaking of being unfiltered, fans are also comparing Nene's transparency about cosmetic procedures to other franchise stars who insist they are completely natural.
That honesty actually helped her image over the years. Nene was completely open about having 2 rhinoplasty procedures, her first in 2010 to adjust her nostrils, and her second in 2016, where she explained on a late-night show that cartilage was reshaped.
Exactly, Marcus! While other women across the franchise claim their totally transformed faces are just from drinking water, Nene was right out front saying she just wanted to be a better version of herself.
Which brings us right back to this epic cast trip. With Porsha actively backing Nene's full return to Atlanta, and the 6-city journey kicking off at Vicky's Bunko night, the real mystery is what happens the moment the group lands in Georgia, and Nene actually walks into that room.
She is going to completely blow the roof off that place, Rachel. You know Nene does not enter any room quietly, especially when it is her own home turf in Georgia.
And remember, according to the premiere preview of the episode, Nene is not even traveling for the first 2 stops of the tour. Porsha explicitly revealed in her confessional that the group hits Orange County and Beverly Hills first, and then the Queen herself makes her grand entry the exact second they land in Atlanta.
From a structural standpoint, that is absolute television perfection. You build up the anticipation across the first 2 destinations while Vicky hosts them for an 80s-themed Bunko night at her home in Coto de Caza, and then you drop Nene right into the middle of the cast dynamic once the group dynamic is already established and tensions are beginning to rise.
Exactly, Marcus. And during that packing scene where Nene is helping Porsha pack her bags for the epic getaway, Porsha runs through the entire cross-country roster, and Nene's reactions were absolutely golden. When Vicky came up, Nene said she thinks Vicky is cool and loud. But when Porsha brought up Kyle, Nene literally leaned in and shouted, "Now that is my girl."
But do not gloss over what she said about Luann. Porsha brought up Luann, and Nene just looked right at her and said, "I know Luann, honey. This is gonna be interesting." That is vintage, classic Nene right there. She already knows where the sparks are going to fly before the ladies even step onto the private jet.
What makes this whole moment carry so much emotional weight is the history being reconciled. Porsha was extremely vocal at the 20th anniversary event, telling media outlets that she personally wants Nene back on the main Atlanta show full-time. She pointed out that after Nene closed her laptop at the pandemic reunion at the end of season 12, the show was missing that essential energy that built the franchise.
And looking at this from an industry angle, seeing the network and Andy Cohen welcome her back for this milestone anniversary trip shows how much the relationship has evolved since that 2022 lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice. Andy publicly called her integral to the show's success and described working with her again as very positive, while Nene has said if they called, she would answer.
It really goes to show that in this industry, history and rating potential can bridge almost any past corporate divide. How do you feel about Nene making her return to your screens after all these years? Scan the code on your screen right now and vote in our live audience poll.
Look, Whether viewers love her or critique her, nobody can deny she helped build that foundation. But while we are on the topic of prominent figures facing intense public commentary over personal life choices and media statements, we have to pivot to this massive unfolding situation involving world champion boxer Claressa Shields and media host Kendra G.
This has been generating enormous conversation over the last 24 hours, Rachel. Kendra G, who is a prominent radio host and dating coach in her mid-40s, she runs a dating app and has projects tied to major television networks, offered her commentary on Claressa's recent personal life entanglement and social media drama.
And Kendra G got it completely wrong, if you ask me. Commentators online are calling her out left and right because she stepped into this narrative trying to act like a relationship authority when people feel she has just taken on those controversial, rigid dating talking points that became famous online over the past few years.
Let us look at the public relations impact here. Claressa Shields is an incredible, world-class champion athlete, one of the most decorated fighters in modern sports. But when radio hosts and dating coaches like Kendra G start dissecting her personal life on air, it completely shifts the focus away from her athletic legacy and plunges her straight into public commentary chaos.
Z, unpack how commentators online are analyzing this reaction. Because people online have literally broken down Claressa's entire defender base into 4 very specific categories.
That online breakdown has gone viral across multiple platforms, Rachel. The first category, identified by commentators, consists of absolute loyalists, people who will defend any Black public figure, reality star, or athlete, no matter what the facts of the situation are. The second category includes individuals who simply dislike Claressa's rival fighters like Lella Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, or media personalities like Remy Ma, so they step up to defend Claressa strictly out of pettiness toward those other women.
Oh, but Category 3 is where things get truly scandalous, D. Category 3 is made up of the silent mistresses and side chicks themselves, who are in the comments fighting for Claressa because they are doing the exact same thing in their own personal lives. They are knowingly dealing with married men, so when Claressa gets called out for an entanglement, they take it as a personal insult to their own lifestyle.
That third category is where the social media discourse gets extremely intense. Analysts pointed out that these individuals defend the behavior because they openly admit on podcasts that they prefer dealing with men who have a wife and children to go home to, creating a very vocal online subculture that validates these choices.
And then Category 4 consists of people who are completely clueless or oblivious to Claressa's social media history over the past few years. They are totally unaware of the alleged burner accounts, the heated public dispute with a mother of 4 regarding a toy drive, or the constant aggressive back-and-forth arguments with fellow fighters like Franchon Cruz and Shadasia Green.
Not to mention her past controversial statements, specifically accusing light-skinned Black women of being her biggest haters, which online petitions and widespread public reactions proved was entirely false, as men and women from all walks of life were calling out that online behavior.
Exactly, Rachel! And let us not forget fellow champion fighter Chris Cyborg jumping right into the conversation, declaring on social media that it is officially duck hunting season. When your actual professional rivals in combat sports start using your personal life drama as ammunition against you, you have completely lost control of your public narrative.
From a career strategy standpoint, this is a textbook demonstration of why elite athletes must maintain strict boundaries between their personal choices and their public brand. When you allow your personal relationships to become raw material for radio hosts like Kendra G to debate, it dilutes your marketability and gives sponsors serious pause.
If you were managing a world champion athlete caught in the middle of radio commentary and viral social media feuds, what step would you advise them to take first? Head over to our live chat right now and share your thoughts with us.
What makes Kendra G's commentary so controversial among viewers is her role as a dating coach who built her brand on giving guidance to women. Critics argue that her take on Claressa's situation completely missed the mark and failed to address the accountability that the public expects from high-profile figures.
Accountability? Marcus, you know as well as I do that some public figures absolutely thrive on the drama. Claressa has built her entire public brand on being unapologetic, unfiltered, and ready to take on anybody, whether she is in a boxing ring or arguing under a burner account online.
But Bianca, there is a fundamental difference between trash-talking an opponent to build a major fight purse and having your personal life picked apart on radio shows where hosts analyze whether you are a side chick or a main partner. That destroys corporate crossover appeal every single time.
And reporting shows this commentary storm is far from over. Fans are tracking every single move, watching to see if Claressa addresses Kendra G directly or if her team attempts to pivot the focus back toward her upcoming athletic career.
Which brings us right to the heart of how public figures handle media exposure versus personal accountability. When a dating host like Kendra G brings your personal life onto a major radio broadcast, and online commentators divide your entire support system into loyalists, mistresses, and rival haters, the pressure on an athlete's image reaches an absolute boiling point.
Exactly, Rachel! And let us stop pretending this is just harmless sports banter. When a dating coach in her mid-40s, like Kendra G, hops on a radio broadcast and starts analyzing an athlete's personal life, people listen. And then online commentators turn around and divide every single supporter into 4 neat little categories.
That online analysis was so detailed, Bianca. The commentary literally broke her defenders down into 4 groups: people who blindly defend any black public figure or athlete no matter what, fans who side with her simply because they dislike her rivals like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Franchon Cruz, or Remy Ma, people who are allegedly mistresses or side chicks themselves, and people who are completely unaware of her social media history.
But Dee, look at what that does to an elite champion's public standing. When your name gets repeatedly tied to terms like side chick or entanglement on public radio broadcasts, corporate sponsors get nervous. Even Chris Cyborg jumped into the conversation online, referring to the entire situation as duck hunting season.
Chris Cyborg was more than happy to take a jab, but let us be real about those 4 categories. When commentators bring up past social media back and forths, like arguments with a mother of 4 over a toy drive, or clashes with Shadasia Green and Layla Ali, or allegedly using burner accounts, the public focus shifts completely away from the boxing ring.
Marcus, from a career and brand management perspective, how does a world-class athlete protect their crossover appeal when online commentators group their fan base like that?
It is an uphill battle, Rachel, because any direct response tends to keep the news cycle alive. If she responds to Kendra G or addresses the critics, it fuels the commentary. If she stays silent, the narrative that she knowingly entertained a married man or targeted light-skinned black women as her only haters continues to circulate without her controlling it.
If you spend years talking cash in internet comment sections, Marcus, you cannot act surprised when a dating host who draws inspiration from Kevin Samuels' talking points dissects your life on air. Kendra G has her own dating app and media platform, so of course she is going to capitalize on celebrity relationship drama.
If you are watching us live right now, where do you draw the line between media commentary and invading a public figure's personal life? Share your take with us using our show's official hashtag.
The real danger for the athlete's image is that these 4 categories leave zero room for genuine sports fandom. If someone defends her athletic record, critics immediately accuse them of being in the trenches as a side chick themselves, or of holding a grudge against Pap or Remy Ma. It completely traps her supporters in personal drama.
Oh, please! You do not get to claim you are trapped in personal drama when you actively step into it. When you build a public history of feuds across social media, the internet is going to categorize why people are putting their capes on for you.
Which is a dramatic contrast to how reality television stars navigate massive public fallout and manage their high-stakes comebacks. Look at how the Real Housewives franchise is handling returning stars for its landmark 20th anniversary celebration.
It is a total shift in strategy, Rachel. In the premiere preview for Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th, airing Sunday, August 9th at 9 p.m., we see Porsha Williams helping Nene Leakes pack her bags, proving that their own past rocky moments and clashes over a proposed television appearance are completely in the past.
Hold on, Dee. Let us not rewrite history here. Nene Leakes literally filed a massive federal lawsuit in 2022 against Bravo, NBC Universal, Andy Cohen, and others alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment. That lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year, meaning a court never even ruled on those allegations. Now we are supposed to pretend it is all sunshine and packing bags?
But Bianca, that mutual dismissal without prejudice is precisely what paved the way for this corporate reunion. Andy Cohen publicly stated in May that the lawsuit was in the past, called working with Nene again very positive, and explicitly declared her integral to the success of the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
D. What did Porsha say during the Ultimate Girls Trip 20th anniversary event about Nene returning to the main Atlanta franchise full-time?
Porsha was totally supportive, Rachel. At the anniversary event on August 4th, Porsha explicitly stated in an interview that she personally would love for Nene to come back to Atlanta, calling her the queen herself. In her confessional, Porsha even asked how they could celebrate 20 years of Housewives and leave out Nene Leakes.
Calling her the queen herself is rich, considering the last time Nene appeared on Atlanta was season 12 during that pandemic reunion when she literally did the iconic laptop shut and walked away.
That laptop moment in season 12 became legendary in pop culture history, Bianca. But having Nene appear in the premiere preview to help Porsha pack and confirming she will make her grand entrance when the cast lands in Atlanta builds massive anticipation for this 6-city trip.
D. Lay out that 6-city itinerary for anyone who is just tuning into the show right now.
It is a massive cross-country tour, Rachel. The ladies start in Orange County, head to Beverly Hills, land in Atlanta where Nene joins, move on to Miami, head up to New York, and finish the trip at Dorinda Medley's iconic Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
Starting right where it all began in March 2006 with Vicky Gunvalson in Coto de Casa. Vicky is even recreating her famous 80s-themed Bunko party from season 7. But let us see if Vicky can handle hosting 7 major personalities without another game night meltdown.
Vicky actually revealed at the photo shoot that while there was conflict and drama, she avoided major meltdowns this time around. She mentioned sharing rooms with Kyle Richards across multiple cities and said she bonded closely with Lisa Barlow, Luann de Lesseps, and Porsha.
And Nene gave her honest take on the cast while helping Porsha pack. When Porsha mentioned she did not know Vicky, Nene said Vicky was loud but cool. She got visibly excited hearing Kyle Richards' name, calling Kyle her girl, and admitted that filming around Luann would be very interesting.
If you are watching live on air, which stop on this 6-city Housewives tour are you most excited to watch? Send us your pics using our show's handle right now.
I am waiting for Atlanta. Rachel! Nene predicted that Atlanta is going to go up. And given her complex history with the network and the cast, that episode is going to be absolute must-watch television.
And it serves as a testing ground for her future with the franchise. Even though Bravo has not officially announced Nene for a future Atlanta season, Nene previously stated that if they called, she would answer. And Porsha's public backing gives serious weight to those comeback rumors.
Alongside the cast drama, viewers are also talking about the physical evolution of these iconic stars over 20 years on television, specifically how different stars approach cosmetic procedures and transparency.
Oh, the contrast is hilarious, D. You have stars like Pettifleur Behringer from Melbourne claiming in past interviews that she is 100% natural and has never touched her face, while Nene has been completely open about getting 2 separate rhinoplasty procedures.
Nene has always been transparent about her surgeries, Bianca. She shared in an interview at the time that her first nose job was in 2010 because she wanted to be a better version of herself while remaining a Black woman. And then in 2016, she explained on a late-night talk show that she had a second procedure to adjust more cartilage.
That transparency is exactly why longtime fans feel such a deep connection to Nene after all these years. But as the ladies prepare to land in Atlanta for what could be the biggest reunion of the decade.
Atlanta is about to go completely up, Rachel. When you put the Queen of Shade back in the same room with this group of iconic ladies, absolute unfiltered fireworks are guaranteed to happen.
It really is the centerpiece of the whole trip, Bianca. Remember, this six-city adventure starts off in Orange County, with Vicky Gunvalson hosting a recreation of an 80s-themed bunco party in Coto de Caza, then moves to Beverly Hills, before hitting Atlanta, where Nene Leakes makes her grand entrance while helping Porsha Williams pack her bags.
Dee, that packing scene alone had social media losing its mind. Marcus, from a career strategy point of view, how smart is it for Porsha to be out there at the 20th anniversary event on August 4th, actively campaigning for Nene to return full-time to the main franchise?
It is a calculated and very clever move, Rachel. Porsha knows that the chemistry they share on camera is pure television gold. By calling Nene the queen herself and publicly admitting that Atlanta was missing the unique energy she brought to the show, Porsha aligns herself directly with longtime fan nostalgia and creates massive anticipation.
Oh, come on, Marcus! Porsha is not just playing politics. She is saying what every single fan has been screaming at their screens since season 12, when Nene closed that laptop lid during the pandemic reunion. The franchise has had a huge void without her.
And Nana's commentary on her castmates during that sit-down was golden, Bianca. When Porsha brought up the rest of the cast, Teresa Giudice, Kyle Richards, Gazelle Bryant, Lisa Barlow, Luann de Lesseps, and Vicky Gunvalson, Nana did not hold back. She called Vicky loud but cool, yelled out that Kyle was her girl, and said seeing Luann again was going to be very interesting.
She certainly does not mince words. Speaking of the fans, our chat room is absolutely buzzing right now over this reunion. If you are watching at home, jump into the comments and tell us, do you think Atlanta needs its original queen back full-time?
We also have to remember the legal bridge that had to be rebuilt here before any of this could happen, Rachel. Back in 2022, Nene filed that major discrimination lawsuit against the network, production companies, and executives, which was eventually mutually dismissed without prejudice later that same year.
Exactly, Marcus, and executive statements from an interview back in May confirmed that those legal issues are firmly in the past. An executive called working with Nene again very positive and recognized how integral she was to the early success of the franchise.
And Nene herself signaled that she was ready to talk. She publicly stated that if they called, she would answer, and that she put those past issues behind them. So she is not playing hard to get at all.
Well, let us see what the audience is saying about all of this right now. We have a viewer message coming in live from the audience.
Hi everyone, I am Samantha from Ohio, and I have been watching these shows religiously since 2006. Seeing Nene back on screen helping Porsha pack brought literal tears to my eyes because television has never been the same without her. Do you panel members think the network will actually hand her back a peach full-time after this trip?
Samantha, honey, wipe those tears because you are speaking for millions of viewers right now. If the network executives have any sense at all, they will have a brand new contract sitting on her doorstep before that Atlanta episode even finishes airing.
Well, Samantha, what we know right now is that the public relationship has softened tremendously. Porsha confirmed she personally wants Nene back, and Nene declared that Atlanta is going up, so the door is wider open today than it has been in 4 years.
From a corporate perspective, Samantha, her appearance on this anniversary special serves as a trial run to test viewer ratings and advertiser response before making any multi-million-dollar long-term casting commitments for future seasons.
Thank you so much for that message, Samantha. Keep those comments coming, everyone. Now, Marcus, switching gears to another massive story dominating everyone's timelines today. We have to talk about the escalating media conflict between world champion boxer Claressa Shields and media host Kendra G.
This situation has taken on a massive life of its own online, Rachel. What started as media commentary on dating dynamics has turned into a deep analysis of public perception and brand management for a top-tier world champion athlete.
Right, Rachel. A recent online commentary broke down the supporters who step up to defend Claressa into 4 distinct categories whenever she gets into these intense public back and forths across social media platforms.
Oh, those 4 categories are so painfully accurate, Dee. You have to break them down for everyone who might be tuning in late.
The first category consists of people who feel an absolute duty to defend any Black public figure or athlete, no matter what happens. The second group includes people who personally dislike the rival fighters Claressa has feuded with, like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Franchon Cruz, Shadasia Green, or people who dislike Remy Ma and support Pap.
And do not forget the third category, D. That would be the silent mistresses in the comment section who relate to complicated relationship rumors and step up because they feel targeted themselves when people call out side chick.
Now, Bianca, let us keep it objective here. Those claims online stem from commentary surrounding her personal life discussions. But the fourth category mentioned in the analysis is simply people who are completely unaware of her past social media history.
Exactly, Marcus. That fourth group has no idea about past comment section arguments, allegations of burner accounts, victim mentality accusations, or previous public disputes like the toy drive situation involving a mother of 4.
Marcus, how does Kendra G fit into all this? She is a popular dating coach in her mid-40s with her own connection platform, so how did her radio commentary ignite such an explosion among combat sports fans and online commentators?
Kendra G built her media brand around direct relationship advice, Rachel. Critics claim she adopted certain tough love talking points similar to popular male relationship commentators, which rubbed many of Claressa's supporters the wrong way when she weighed in on high-profile female figures.
Kendra G went on the radio thinking she was just going to give her usual dating seminar, but she walked right into a combat sports landmine. You cannot analyze an elite world champion boxer like she is just another anonymous caller on a midnight relationship advice line.
And rival fighters are loving every single minute of this noise. World champion Chris Cyborg even posted online declaring that it is duck hunting season, clearly mocking the ongoing public drama surrounding Claressa's media presence and online arguments.
Which of those 4 defender categories do you find yourself agreeing with when you read the debate online? Drop your thoughts in our live chat right now. Bianca, does all this outside media noise actually hurt a champion boxer's commercial brand, or is all press good press?
Look, in combat sports, talk sells tickets. But when you spend more time fighting dating coaches on radio shows and arguing with fans in comment sections than focusing on your athletic legacy, the public starts paying attention to the circus instead of your ringside dominance.
I disagree, Bianca. Combat sports thrive on personality, tension, and continuous public engagement. As long as she delivers inside the ring, her commercial appeal remains strong because polarizing figures draw massive pay-per-view numbers and high digital engagement.
But her critics point out that when she repeatedly claims her only haters are light-skinned women, she alienates a huge portion of her potential fan base, which makes corporate sponsors very cautious about multi-year brand deals.
And that is where the real risk lies. When major corporate sponsorship dollars are on the line, personal online commentary can turn into a very expensive hobby.
And that is precisely why major corporate sponsors start pulling back, Rachel. You cannot claim you are the undisputed champion of the world while simultaneously writing paragraphs under burner accounts and fighting people over radio show interviews.
But Bianca, from a pure business and contract standpoint, athletic endorsements are usually tied to performance inside the ring, not online banter. Look at combat sports history. Polarizing figures have always driven pay-per-view sales. When an athlete generates this much noise, sponsors weigh the online controversy against the sheer digital engagement and visibility she commands.
The reality on the ground is a bit more complicated, Marcus. What we are hearing from media insiders is that the recent radio commentary from dating coach Kendra G really opened up a whole new wave of public debate. Kendra G, who is in her mid-40s, running her own dating platform and developing content for the OWN network, stepped into this discussion with commentary that critics are comparing to high-intensity relationship advice. And that radio moment triggered an avalanche of online breakdown videos analyzing why people defend this behavior.
Oh, please, Dee! The so-called defenders fall into very obvious buckets. You have the folks who will defend any black athlete no matter what they do. You have the ones who just dislike her ring rivals like Layla Ali or Alicia Baumgardner, and then you have the people who are completely oblivious to her social media history.
That is actually spot on, Bianca. Commentators analyzing this feud have categorized her online support into 4 distinct groups. Beyond those first 3 categories, there is even a 4th group, individuals who are allegedly in similar side chick or mistress situations themselves and feel defensive when the public calls out relationship drama involving married men.
That 4-category breakdown really explains why the comment sections look like an absolute war zone. But Marcus, when you look at someone with multiple championship titles, does engaging with dating coaches on radio shows or addressing online petitions actually hurt her long-term athletic legacy?
In the short term, Rachel, it creates a media storm that overshadows her world-class achievements inside the ring. But long-term athletic legacy is written in belts and undefeated records. Combat sports audiences historically have short memories for social media skirmishes if the athlete keeps winning. However, when you alienate potential fans by claiming your only critics belong to a specific demographic, you limit your crossover commercial appeal outside the sport.
Limiting commercial appeal is putting it nicely, Marcus. When other combat sports stars like Chris Cyborg are publicly posting that it is duck hunting season, you know the narrative has completely shifted away from championship boxing and straight into reality television-style drama.
Speaking of reality television royalty and narrative shifting, that is the perfect bridge to our other massive topic tonight. We have to turn our attention to the premiere preview that everyone on social media is dissecting right now. D, what are the latest details on Nene Leakes making her long-awaited return for the 20th anniversary special of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip?
Rachel, the first look at the premiere episode airing Sunday, August 9th at 9 o'clock in the evening on Bravo, is setting the internet on fire. The preview shows Nene returning to help her former Atlanta castmate Porsha Williams pack her suitcases for this massive cross-country journey.
Can we just talk about the irony of Nene helping Porsha pack? The last time we saw Nene on the network was season 12 during that pandemic reunion when she literally shut her laptop screen and walked away from the franchise. Now she is back in front of the cameras helping pack bags for a 6-city tour.
From a legal and business perspective, Bianca, this return is a monumental shift. Remember, back in 2022, Nene filed a federal lawsuit alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment against NBC Universal, the network, and executive producer Andy Cohen. That lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that year, meaning the court made no formal ruling on the merits.
That is right, Marcus, and the public relationship since then has softened significantly. Just this past May, Andy Cohen publicly stated that the legal battle was in the past, describing working with Nene again as very positive and calling her an integral part of Atlanta's historic success. While no permanent peach has been promised for the main series yet, Nene herself signaled months ago that if the network called, she would answer.
And Porsha Williams certainly did not hold back her enthusiasm at the 20th anniversary event on August 4th. D. What did Porsha say about Nene coming back to the main Atlanta show full-time?
Porsha was extremely clear. Rachel, she told reporters at the anniversary event that she personally would love for Nene to return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, saying everyone is very hopeful. In the premiere preview, Porsha refers to Nene as the queen herself and says Atlanta has been missing her energy ever since she departed.
Look, Porsha knows exactly what she is doing. She knows that without heavy hitters who built the house, the energy falls flat. But let us be real about this upcoming 6-city trip. They are starting in Orange County with Vicki Gunvalson hosting an 80s-themed bunco party in Coto de Caza.
That choice of starting location is brilliant production strategy, Bianca. Starting in Coto de Caza pays homage to where the entire franchise began back in March 2006. Vicki Gunvalson, taking the women back to her exclusive gated community, sets a nostalgic tone before they move on to Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Miami, New York, and finally Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
I want to ask our viewers right now, which city on this 6-city itinerary are you most excited to see these iconic housewives invade? Drop your pick in our live chat right now. Marcus, when you look at this ensemble cast, Vicky Gunvalson, Kyle Richards, Teresa Giudice, Luann de Lesseps, Gazelle Bryant, Lisa Barlow, and Porsha Williams, how does bringing Nene into the Atlanta leg alter the group dynamic?
Nenen represents the foundational era of reality talent, Rachel. When she joins the group during the Atlanta stop, she reestablishes her position as an anchor of the franchise. Even in the preview clip, when Porsha mentions Kyle Richards, Nenen instantly lights up and calls Kyle her girl. Her familiarity with veterans like Luann and Vicky creates an immediate dynamic among the women.
Oh, and you know Vicky is going to try to rule Orange County. But let us address the physical transformations, because you cannot talk about 20 years of Housewives without talking about how much these faces have changed. Nene has been open about her cosmetic procedures, unlike some cast members across the franchise who pretend it is just water and sleep.
That is an important distinction, Bianca. Nene has been remarkably transparent about her journey over the years. She confirmed having her first rhinoplasty in 2010, telling reporters she wanted a better version of herself while remaining an authentic Black woman. Then, in 2016, during a late-night talk show appearance, she explained her second procedure, where cartilage was reshaped rather than just taking in the nostrils.
That honesty is why fans respect her. Where do you stand on cast transparency, audience? Do you prefer housewives who own their cosmetic work, or those who claim it is all natural? Tell us in the comments. Marcus, from a brand longevity standpoint, does cosmetic transparency help or hurt a reality star's career longevity?
It significantly helps, Rachel. In the modern entertainment landscape, audiences value authenticity above almost everything else. When public figures admit to procedures like rhinoplasty, it builds a relatable narrative with fans rather than creating cognitive dissonance between old footage and current appearances.
Exactly! When you shut your laptop in season 12 and come back years later after settling major legal claims, you have to bring complete honesty to the screen. And when Nene steps into that Atlanta leg of the trip, every single one of those women is going to have to adjust their energy.
Porsha even hinted during the preview that while iconic housewives opened the door, this group kicked it down. And with Nene predicting that Atlanta is going to go up when she arrives, the expectations for this 6th season of Ultimate Girls Trip are through the roof.
It also sets up a potential pathway for Nene's permanent return to the flagship Atlanta series, provided this guest appearance yields high ratings and positive digital engagement for the network.
But Bianca, do you think the core Atlanta ensemble can handle Nene stepping back into her crown? Or will the power struggle immediately reignite?
Reignite? Rachel, it is going to explode into pure chaos the second her designer shoes touch the floor in Georgia.
You really think there is zero room for two queens in that room, Bianca?
Please! Porsha might be sitting there in that packing scene calling her the queen herself. But when you put 7 huge personalities together across 6 cities, nobody is stepping aside gracefully.
And the reporting coming out of that 20th anniversary event on August 4th shows just how deep this reunion goes. When reporters caught up with Porsha on the red carpet, she did not hold back her feelings about Nene's future with the franchise.
What did you find out on the red carpet, Dee?
She literally said, "We are very hopeful," and added, "Me personally, yes, I would love for Nene to come back." She even admitted that filming past seasons without Nene and Kenya Moore felt incomplete, like trying to live in a house that belonged to them without the key masters present.
That is an incredible show of solidarity, especially when you look back at where things stood contractually and legally just 2 years ago. In 2022, Nene filed that multi-named federal lawsuit alleging discrimination and a hostile work environment, which was eventually dismissed without prejudice later that same year.
Let us be real, Marcus. Dismiss without prejudice means the court never actually ruled on the facts. People are acting like it was all ancient history just because they are smiling in a preview.
But from a corporate and brand perspective, Bianca, the network posture has shifted dramatically. A senior executive went on record back in May stating that the lawsuit is in the past. describing working with NeNe again as very positive and calling her integral to the show's entire legacy, even if he stopped short of handing over a peach.
And Nene's public stance on working with the network again has completely softened too, hasn't it?
Exactly. Nina previously put it very plainly, stating, "If they called, I would answer," explaining that both sides had worked through their past issues.
Of course, she would answer. Who turns down that level of exposure after shutting her laptop in season 12 during a virtual pandemic reunion and disappearing for years?
But think about the setup for season 6 of Ultimate Girls Trip. NeNe makes her entrance when the ladies arrive in Atlanta, which is city number 3 on the map.
Right. The itinerary starts in Orange County with Vicki Gunvalson hosting, then moves to Beverly Hills with Kyle Richards, hits Atlanta for NeNe's big entrance, travels down to Miami, swings up to New York, and finishes at Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
And during that premiere preview airing Sunday, August 9th at 9 p.m., Nene helps Porsha pack her bags, while Porsha breaks down the entire cast roster. Teresa Giudice, Vicki Gunvalson, Kyle Richards, Gazelle Bryant, Lisa Barlow, Luann de Lesseps, and Porsha herself.
And Porsha drops that line in her confessional. She says, "How dare we celebrate 20 years as housewives and leave out Nene Leakes?"
What did NeNe have to say about her fellow castmates during that sit-down?
When Porsha brought up Vicki, Nene said, "I think Vicki is cool. I think she is loud, but she is cool." When Kyle's name came up, Nene threw her arms up and exclaimed, "Now that is my girl." And when Porsha brought up Luann, Nene gave that famous smirk and said, "I know Luann, honey. This is going to be interesting."
Nenen also predicted point blank that when she steps into the Atlanta leg, Atlanta is going to go up, which sets high expectations for digital engagement and live viewership numbers.
Look, Porsha and NeNe had a major public fallout in the past over a proposed television project. So seeing them sitting on a bed packing suitcases like best friends proves that in television, timing and opportunity fix everything.
Speaking of starting the journey in Orange County, Vicki Gunvalson was reminiscing about being the original housewife back in March 2006 when she first welcomed cameras into Coto de Casa.
Vicki hosted an 80s-themed bunko party to recreate her iconic Season 7 moment, and she claimed that Orange County impressed all the visiting ladies as a hidden gem.
Vicki claims she shared rooms with Kyle Richards in multiple cities without any major blow-ups. Marcus, do you actually buy that those two stayed peaceful in tight quarters?
Well, Vicki did admit there was some conflict and drama, Bianca, but she emphasized that they had fun and that she bonded heavily with both Kyle and Lisa Barlow.
It also highlights the ultimate contrast in transparency across these franchises. You have stars like Pettifleur Beringer from Melbourne claiming to be 100% natural with zero face alterations, while Nene has been totally open about having 2 rhinoplasties, one in 2010 and a second one in 2016 where she had cartilage moved around.
I respect Nene for owning her nose jobs. If you change your face, own it. What I cannot stand is people on social media acting completely fake while trying to play moral judge in other people's relationship drama.
Marcus, looking at this from an image standpoint, that segues right into our second topic. What is the latest on the tensions surrounding athlete Claressa Shields and media personality Kendra G?
Reporting in on this, online commentary has exploded over a recent radio broadcast where dating coach Kendra G gave her perspective on Claressa Shields' recent personal entanglements, and critics online are claiming Kendra G got it flat out wrong.
To bring everyone up to speed on who Kendra G is, she is a popular radio host and dating coach in her mid-40s with a massive following, a connecting platform for singles, and upcoming media projects, who has faced criticism online for allegedly adopting stern dating talking points.
Stern is putting it lightly, Marcus. She stepped right into a complete circus. People online are referring to Claressa as Pap's entanglement, side chick, and mistress, while Chris Cyborg publicly posted that it is duck hunting season.
Dee, walk us through those 4 categories of online defenders that commentators have outlined regarding Claressa's supporters.
Right, Rachel. Online analysis has categorized Claressa's defenders into 4 distinct groups. Category 1, People who will defend any black celebrity or athlete no matter what happens. Category 2. People who hold personal grudges against Claressa's athletic rivals like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, or Remy Ma, or support Pap.
Category 3 is the most hilarious and tragic one. Tell them who Category 3 is.
Category 3 consists of silent side chicks and mistresses who do not want their own secret business exposed in the streets. They defend Claressa because they are actively in the trenches with married men right now, or did it in the past, and they like the fact that he has a wife and kids to go home to.
What specific past social media conflicts are people pointing to in Category 4?
Critics bring up her going back and forth in comment sections, allegedly using burner accounts, her clash with a mother of 4 over a toy drive, her public feuds with Franchon Cruz, Shadasia Green, Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, and Remy Ma, plus her past statements claiming light-skinned black women were her primary haters, despite public petitions coming from all demographics.
So when Kendra G went on the radio trying to give relationship coaching on this situation, she acted like Claressa was just some innocent bystander. You cannot be a professional dating coach in your mid-40s running single platforms and ignore all those public receipts.
From a brand management standpoint, Claressa is a world-class championship athlete, but constantly engaging in social media battles and public relationship entanglements severely damages crossover commercial potential.
Which of those 4 defender categories do you think explains the internet reaction best, audience? Chat with us live right now.
It is Category 3 all day long, Rachel. Misery loves company, and mistresses love seeing a famous athlete validate their lifestyle.
Commentators are pointing out that Kendra G tried to navigate this drama without acknowledging how fed up the public is with social media feuds, which made her radio take fall completely flat with listeners.
And for Kendra G, aligning her media identity with such a polarized personal scandal risks alienating her core audience right when her television presence is expanding.
But Dee, what specific claims did Kendra G make during that radio segment that caused commentators to say she took the wrong road?
Kendra G suggested during her radio broadcast that public scrutiny surrounding the champion boxer was completely overblown, essentially downplaying the online backlash regarding the relationship with a married man. Observers immediately pointed out that this media personality, who is in her mid-40s and known for her own dating app and upcoming television project, completely misread how exhausted audiences have become with public entanglements and social media feuds.
She completely missed the mark, Dee. People are tired of hearing public figures defend side chick behavior or act like the victim every time they get caught up in drama. When you align yourself with those tired talking points, you lose your listeners fast.
From a brand management standpoint, Bianca, that radio commentary failed because it ignored the history of public friction surrounding the athlete. When an Olympic gold medalist and multi-division champion has a documented history of clashes with peers like Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, and Remy Ma, the public loses patience with attempts to brush off accountability.
Exactly, Marcus. And if you are just joining our live stream, here is where things stand on today's 2 huge stories. First, we are dissecting the massive online debate around multi-time boxing world champion Claressa Shields, her relationship entanglements, and how media hosts like Kendra G are facing severe backlash for defending her on air. Second, we are following all the explosive developments around the upcoming 6th season premiere of Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, Roaring 20th, where iconic cast members are reuniting for a massive cross-country getaway. Marcus, from a career rebuilding perspective, how huge is this milestone for Nene Leakes after everything that happened?
It is massive, Rachel. Remember, Nene left the franchise after season 12 during that remote pandemic reunion, and then in 2022, she filed a high-profile discrimination lawsuit against the network and executives. That legal action was ultimately dismissed without prejudice later that year, opening the door for this public reconciliation.
And the momentum is real. In the premiere episode preview, Nene actually shows up right away to help Porsha Williams pack her bags for this epic getaway. Porsha openly calls Nene the ultimate iconic housewife and confirms Nene will physically make her grand entrance when the cast reaches Atlanta.
Porsha is out here campaigning for Nene to come back full-time to the Atlanta franchise, saying they kicked the door down for future cast members. But let us be honest, the real fun of this season is watching how these huge personalities navigate each other on a grueling travel schedule across 6 different locations.
That travel schedule is no joke. For anyone tracking the cast itinerary, the journey starts in Orange County, then moves to Beverly Hills, Atlanta, Miami, New York, and concludes at Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires. Let us pause for a second because our viewer chat is completely blowing up right now.
Hi everyone, I am Samantha from Chicago, and I have been watching the live show since hour 1. I honestly think Nene Leakes returning is the best thing to happen to reality television in years. But I am worried about how Vicki Gunvalson will handle sharing the spotlight in Orange County.
Samantha from Chicago, you have every right to be worried. We all know Vicki considers Orange County her personal kingdom. She was there in March 2006 when the original show started inside her gated community in Coto de Caza. Having 7 other alpha women invade her turf for an 80s-themed party is bound to trigger some classic drama.
Well, according to statements made during cast interviews, Vicki actually claims she avoided any major meltdowns while hosting the group at her house for that recreated 80s bunco party. She mentioned being pleasantly surprised by how well everyone got along in Orange County, even sharing a room with Kyle Richards during the trip and bonding closely with Lisa Barlow.
That is a smart move for Vicki's personal brand at this stage, D. Showing growth while honoring the history of the franchise where it all started 20 years ago positions her as a gracious legacy host rather than a combative veteran.
Speaking of franchise history and public image, Bianca, what do you make of Nene's honesty regarding her physical transformations over the years? She has been completely open about getting 2 rhinoplasty procedures, first taking in her nostrils in 2010 to look like a better version of herself, and later adjusting cartilage in 2016.
I respect the honesty, Rachel. In a franchise where so many women pretend their brand new faces are just the result of drinking water and good lighting, Nene just came out and owned her cosmetic procedures.
That transparency definitely sets her apart from cast members who claim to be 100% natural despite obvious changes. Meanwhile, the excitement around Nene's return is shared by her co-stars. Porsha explicitly stated at the 20th anniversary event on August 4th that she personally wants Nene back on the Atlanta series permanently, calling her energy essential to what built the show in the first place.
And executives seem aligned with that softened stance. Network leadership publicly noted that past legal issues are in the past and described working with Nene again as a very positive experience, calling her integral to the show's overall legacy.
But remember, during that premiere packing session, Porsha runs through the cast list with Nene, mentioning Teresa Giudice, Gazelle Bryant, Luann de Lesseps, and Kyle Richards. And Nene gets visibly thrilled about Kyle, calling her her girl, but drops a very subtle warning when Luann's name comes up. D. What did Nene say about Luann?
Nene gave a sly look and said knowing Luann was going to make the trip very interesting. And considering Luann's background and Nene's unfiltered personality, that dynamic could easily ignite once all these women hit the road together.
Interesting is an understatement. Luann loves her elegance and protocol, while Nene will call out pretense in 2 seconds flat. Put those 2 in a house together after visiting Atlanta, and you have instant television gold.
Which brings us to the bigger question about how these legendary rivalries play out when old grudges meet new alliances. Audience, do you think Nene's return to the franchise will open the door for other past stars who had major legal or personal fallouts with the network? Scan the code and vote on our live poll right now.
It sets a huge precedent, Rachel. In the entertainment industry, bridges are rarely burned permanently if the business opportunity and audience demand are strong enough. Reconciling after a lawsuit proves that ratings and legacy status often outweigh past litigation.
And Porsha is definitely leaning into that legacy angle. She made it clear that celebrating 20 years of Housewives without acknowledging Nene's contribution would have been a massive mistake, especially since the last time viewers saw Nene was when she closed her laptop at the end of season 12.
Closing that laptop was an iconic exit, but opening it back up for this six-city tour is where the real fireworks start. Just imagine what happens when they land in Atlanta and Nene makes her big entry.
And that is precisely where the entire dynamic shifts, Bianca. Because when Nene Leakes steps back into Atlanta on this six-city tour, she is not just dropping in as a guest, she is walking back into the house she helped build. D, you have been tracking the premiere preview footage. What exactly happens in that sit-down scene while Porsha Williams is packing her bags?
It is such a classic moment, Rachel. Nene comes right over to help Porsha pack for the trip, and as they are sitting there catching up, Porsha breaks down the whole itinerary for her. They are starting out in Orange County at Vicky Gunvalson's place in Coto de Caza, then heading to Beverly Hills, coming home to Atlanta, hitting Miami, moving on to New York, and finally winding up at Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
And can we talk about Nene's commentary on that cast list? Porsha admits right off the bat that she does not even know Vicky, and Nene just shrugs and says Vicky is loud, but cool. But the second Porsha mentions Kyle Richards, Nene lights up and calls her her girl. Then Porsha brings up Luann de Lesseps, and Nene gives that iconic smile and says, I know Luann, honey. This is gonna be interesting.
What is really fascinating from an industry perspective, Rachel, is how Porsha is positioning Nene's involvement. In her confessional, Porsha straight up asks how anyone could celebrate 20 years of Housewives and leave out Nene Leakes. She calls her the queen herself and confirms that Nene will officially make her entrance when the group lands in Atlanta. That is a massive shift considering where their personal relationship was in the past.
That is so true, Marcus. They actually had a very public clash a while back over a proposed television appearance. But seeing them together now, Porsha is openly saying she wants Nene back on the Atlanta franchise full-time. She mentioned at the anniversary event on August 4th that she personally would love for Nene to return, noting that filming without Nene and Kenya Moore felt different because those longtime stars made the franchise feel like their house.
Porsha is not wrong about that. Atlanta has not felt the same since Nene closed her laptop during that virtual season 12 reunion in the middle of the pandemic. That was her last appearance on the network before all the legal battles started in 2022. Now Nene is predicting that when she steps into Atlanta on this tour, the whole city is going up.
And the network leadership seems completely on board now, too. After that 2022 lawsuit alleging discrimination was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that year, things clearly softened. The executive producer even made a public statement back in May calling Nene integral to the success of the franchise and describing working with her again as very positive, while Nene has said if they called, she would answer.
It is a textbook lesson in brand reconciliation, Rachel. Neither side burned the bridge beyond repair. But let us not forget the physical evolution that comes with being on television for almost 2 decades. When you look back at Nene in 2008 compared to now, she has been remarkably open about her transformations, unlike some cast members across the franchise who insist they are entirely untouched.
Oh, please! We have seen some wild face transformations across all these cities! Nene at least owned up to her 2 rhinoplasties, explaining back in 2010 that she just wanted a better version of herself, and then explaining on a late-night show in 2016 that her second procedure moved cartilage around. Meanwhile, you have stars from the Melbourne franchise claiming to be 100% natural with 0 work done.
The contrast and transparency is always remarkable. Viewers at home, do you think Nene's official return in Atlanta will lead to a permanent peach for season 17? Head over to our show page and drop your thoughts right now. But speaking of outspoken women who never back down from a public feud, we have to pivot to this massive media clash between championship boxer Claressa Shields and media personality Kendra G. D, how did Kendra G get pulled into this controversy?
It started because Kendra G went on a radio show and gave her perspective on the allegations surrounding Claressa Shields and her rumored entanglement with a married man known online as Pap. Kendra G, who is a mid-40s dating coach with her own connection platform and an upcoming show on the OWN network, tried to analyze the relationship dynamics, but commentators across social media are saying she got the entire situation flat out wrong.
Flat out wrong is an understatement, D. Critics are pointing out that Kendra G has basically adopted all of those rigid, old-school dating talking points, and she tried to apply them to a champion athlete who is allegedly acting like a side chick. People online are calling Claressa Pap's mistress and Pap's entanglement, and Chris Cyborg even jumped in on social media joking that it is duck hunting season.
From a public relations standpoint, Marcus here has to point out that Claressa Shields is putting her athletic brand at serious risk. When you are a top-tier fighter, getting dragged into public commentary about side chick culture and married men erodes mainstream sponsor confidence. And Kendra G stepping in only amplified the narrative instead of smoothing it over.
Marcus, the online reaction has created these distinct groups of defenders, hasn't it? Industry analysts breaking down the footage have identified 4 very specific categories of people who keep stepping up to defend Claressa online, regardless of the facts. D, take us through those 4 categories.
Right, Rachel. The commentary breaking this down points out that the first category is people who will defend any black celebrity or athlete, no matter what they do. The second category consists of people who simply dislike Claressa's rivals, like Lila Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, or Remy Ma, or who side with Pap.
And don't forget the third category, D. That third group is made up of secret mistresses and side chicks themselves. Women who are in the trenches doing the exact same thing with married men, so they jump into the comments shouting about how everyone is hating on Claressa just because they want to validate their own mess.
The fourth category is perhaps the most common, Rachel. People who are simply clueless about Claressa's extensive social media history. They do not know about her back and forth arguments in comment sections, her alleged burner accounts, or her past feuds with Franchon Cruz, Shade De Green, or that public controversy over a toy drive with a mother of 4.
It really shows how social media history follows public figures everywhere they go. Audience, do you think media hosts like Kendra G should stay out of personal athlete drama? Or is it fair game once it hits the internet? Let us know on our official chat board. Bianca, Kendra G has faced a lot of pushback for her dating advice style lately, hasn't she?
Absolutely, Rachel. People have been critiquing Kendra G for months, saying she shifted her entire approach to mirror those harsh, cynical dating commentary styles that went viral a few years ago. So when she tried to offer her commentary on Claressa's situation, viewers saw right through it and called her out for misreading the room entirely.
And Claressa has not helped her own cause by publicly claiming that light-skinned black women are her only haters, which online petitions and comment sections have disproved by showing men and women from all walks of life criticizing her behavior.
That is the core issue, D. When an athlete deflects valid criticism by turning it into a generalized accusation, it alienates the broader audience. Kendra G tried to frame this as a standard dating dilemma, completely ignoring the fact that public conduct, social media feuds, and alleged burner accounts are what actually drove the public backlash.
Exactly, Marcus. Kendra G wanted to lecture women about high-value relationships while ignoring the fact that Claressa was knowingly entertaining a married man with a whole family at home. You cannot offer elevated dating advice while glossing over the actual mess.
And that is the crux of the whole debate. Because when a media host tries to sanitize a situation that the internet has already dissected,
you lose all credibility, Rachel. Kendra G is sitting there on radio shows and podcasts trying to sound like an elevated dating guru, but people see right through it.
And look at what Kendra G's actual background is right now, Bianca. She is a media host and dating coach in her mid-40s who has her own dating app, and she reportedly has a show lined up on a major cable network. But critics are pointing out that her commentary style has shifted lately, taking on talking points similar to those old-school male dating advisors.
Exactly, D! She wants to preach about high-value relationship standards, but when it comes to Claressa, she completely sidesteps the actual social media behavior. You cannot offer elevated dating advice while ignoring a whole paper trail of online feuds with Layla Ali, Alicia Baumgardner, Franchon Cruz Dezern, Shadasia Green, Remy Ma, and even that mother of four over a toy drive.
From an image management perspective, though, Marcus here has to point out that Kendra G jumping into this actually made things worse for Claressa's athletic brand. When a dating coach tries to reframe a public feud as just a standard dating dilemma, it invites even more public scrutiny. Claressa is a world-class champion athlete, but her team is letting her get dragged into non-stop online commentary while rivals like Chris Cyborg are calling it duck hunting season.
That is a crucial point, Marcus. When you have 4 distinct categories of online defenders, from people who defend any black athlete no matter what, to those with grudges against her rivals, to silent side chicks, to people who are completely unaware of her past social media behavior, the real athletic achievement gets completely buried.
Buried under endless social media back and forth. Not to mention those alleged burner accounts people keep talking about online. If you are a top-tier champion, why are you arguing in comment sections at 2 in the morning?
And let us not forget, when Claressa publicly claimed that light-skinned black women were her only haters, the audience pushed back immediately with petitions and comment sections showing men and women from all walks of life criticizing the situation.
If you are watching at home right now, drop a comment on our live page. Do you think media hosts like Kendra G should stay completely out of personal athlete feuds, or is all publicity good publicity? I want to see what you think. Now, speaking of media commentary, iconic returns, and major public reconciliations, we have to talk about what is happening with the premiere preview of the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip 20th Anniversary Special.
Oh, Rachel. Now this is the kind of high-stakes television return I have been waiting for. The queen herself, Nene Leakes, is officially back on Bravo cameras, and she is helping Porsha Williams pack her bag.
That preview clip just dropped, and it is everything fans wanted, Rachel. Porsha is packing for this massive 6-city trip, and Nene is sitting right there catching up with her. Remember, the last time we saw Nene on this network was the season 12 reunion during the pandemic, when she literally shut her laptop screen down and walked away.
And from a career and legal standpoint, that moment carried enormous weight. Back in 2022, Nene filed a major lawsuit alleging racial discrimination and a hostile work environment against the network, executives, and production companies. That lawsuit was mutually dismissed without prejudice later that year, which meant the court never made a ruling on the merits.
Exactly, Marcus. And look how much the temperature has cooled since then. Executive producers have publicly stated that the lawsuit is in the past, calling working with Nene again very positive and acknowledging how integral she was to the entire Atlanta franchise.
Integral is an understatement. Porsha said it best in her confessional. How dare they celebrate 20 years of Housewives and leave out Nene Leakes?
And Porsha did not hold back during the 20th anniversary event in August either. She publicly stated that she personally would love for Nene to make a full return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, saying everyone is very hopeful and that Atlanta felt missing without that core energy.
Listen, Porsha and Nene have had their own fair share of explosive clashes in the past. Remember that public fallout over a potential television appearance? But seeing them sitting together in Porsha's room, laughing and running down the cast list proves time really does heal broadcast wounds.
It is a smart strategic move for both of them. Porsha framing Nene as the ultimate icon helps build momentum for the franchise, while Nene gets to re-enter the ecosystem on her own terms during the Atlanta leg of the trip.
Dee, tell us about Nene's reactions when Porsha ran down the itinerary and the cast members involved in this 6-city tour.
Oh, Nene had thoughts on everyone, Rachel. When Porsha admitted she did not really know Vicky Gunvalson, Nene jumped right in saying Vicky is loud but cool. But when Porsha brought up Kyle Richards, Nene's face completely lit up and she shouted, "Now that is my girl."
And what about Luann de Lesseps? When Porsha mentioned Luann, Nene gave that classic smirk and said it was going to be interesting. You know Nene does not sugarcoat anything when it comes to long-standing Housewives dynamics.
The structure of this trip is fascinating from a production standpoint. They are doing 6 cities in sequential order to celebrate the history of the franchise, starting in Orange County, then moving to Beverly Hills, Atlanta, where Nene makes her grand entrance, Miami, New York, and finally ending at Dorinda Medley's Bluestone Manor in the Berkshires.
Marcus, starting in Orange County makes total sense because that is where the entire phenomenon began back in March of 2006 with Vicky Gunvalson behind the gates of Coto de Casa.
And Vicky actually spoke about hosting the ladies in Orange County for her leg of the trip. She recreated her famous 80s-themed bunco party from season 7 of Orange County. She mentioned that while there was conflict and drama, she avoided any full meltdowns this time and ended up sharing rooms with Kyle Richards and bonding closely with Lisa Barlow.
Vicky Gunvalson hosting an 80s bunco party in Coto de Casa with Lisa Barlow, Teresa Giudice, Giselle Bryant, and Luann de Lesseps is pure unfiltered chaotic genius, but let us talk about the ultimate physical evolution of these housewives over 20 years.
That is right, Bianca. Over 20 years, we have seen some incredible face transformations across the entire franchise. While some international stars like Pettifleur Behringer from Melbourne have claimed to be 100% natural, with zero work done, many core stars have been totally transparent about their procedures.
Nene Leakes has been open about her journey. She publicly confirmed having her first rhinoplasty in 2010, explaining she wanted to look like a better version of herself, and then had a second procedure in 2016 to adjust cartilage.
That level of transparency actually helped Nene build a genuine connection with viewers back then. In an era where many public figures denied having cosmetic work done, her openness about her nose jobs made her relatable and reinforced her larger-than-life authenticity on screen.
Absolutely. Whether it is cosmetic transparency or standing her ground during contract negotiations, Nene set the blueprint for how a housewife operates.
If you are watching us right now, head over to our show page and weigh in.